Well, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good day. Welcome to SKTV. Today is Thursday, September the 29th, 2022. As always, I'm here with Johnson Milborn Kula in studio, Truth FM 96.1 in Liberia. Johnson, what say you? How are you? How's the country? How's the motherland?
Oh yes, and Liberia is good. Liberia, we find just that with the rest issue, when the people stomach are not filled, that means something. They say the hungry man is an angry man, even though that's the kind of thing that's happening in Liberia. But all is well. The peace is here. Thank God. At least there's no violence here and there. So we thank God for that. But when it comes to other issues, there are a lot of issues here in Liberia.
Okay, the rice issue. Today we will be talking in depth about everything, all things. Uh, like my man Johnson would say, don't you dare touch the dial. Don't change
Mhm.
anything. Just stay put, stay where you are because we are ready for this conversation this afternoon, this morning here in Phoenix, Arizona. We want to welcome each and every one of you to the show. Welcome and welcome to our listeners and our viewers. Please share the show as you tune in or as you join us. I want to welcome each and every one of you. This is SKTV, and we are on the radio there in Liberia. We are True FM 96.1. Welcome and welcome to today's edition. Today, we have a big question for the country, for those in the diaspora, Liberians all around the world. We want you to tune in to help us answer these questions or this question. Should President George Weah be given another 6 years? This is what we want to talk about. We'll take all things into consideration here. Uh, but we want to welcome you. Welcome to the show. Share the show as we are on. We want you to please share the show. We have a lot to talk about today, a lot to take into consideration. We have a surprise guest that would like to join the conversation with us. Um, Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly, we want to, as always, as usual, we want to recognize the Liberian people as the most important people on earth, as evidenced by the fact that we've left our jobs, we've left everything else that we had to do today to attend to the issues that concerns Liberia, even though we're miles and miles away. But Liberia is our common denominator, as we always say. So we want to welcome each and every one of you to the show. Should President George Weah be given a second term, which is another 6 years, amidst everything that you are going through? We want you to please stay tuned, share the show with us. My man, what else is going on? I don't know if that winter season ending, right? Winter season ending.
Yes, and the rainy season will be ending sometime in next month, or sometime maybe between the 20th and up to the 15th, or maybe between, or maybe maybe at the end of next month. So we are climaxing the rainy season.
Okay, you see, I still remember the timing, my man.
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
smart though.
By the time then I tell them where our Google shoot them to be what the mud or the water pot puddle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
hmm
So you
When
jump
you
in
go
when
into
you
school,
how many times
yes.
you
So,
jump in the water or the mud puddle so that you don't get wet?
Just that, in fact, normal thing here in Liberia, one thing that I really admire us as people is that whenever we travel, we take photos on the people's street, but you come back home. Let me tell you something, my brother. Liberia is just another country where or in fact, it's just so different that you will see our street, right? The sand. The sand, right? The sand will be all on the road. Nobody will sweep it. It will just remain there. By the time the rain fall, it turn into mud. So the only thing like brother, you will see that you'll be walking on the quota or maybe the paved road and be walking in the mud. So you gotta be jumping. If you don't want to jump, you just forced to even jump. Then the floor issue or maybe the water taking over the road, that one is just normal thing because the dead people or all the drainages are all been closed, nowhere for water to pass. So it's just a normal thing now for us. So we're living by it and we live in it,
Hmm.
until maybe when the rightful people maybe come in power and change things. But for me, I'm
Okay.
so frustrated with that.
Well, there are a lot of arguments that can be made. Well, we'll talk about it today. We'll talk about it today. Some might say, well, this is not George Weah's problem. So we didn't bring that problem to us. The youth brought that problem to us, or past governments. What are you talking about? The rights. We talk about all of these factors today. We take all of these things into consideration. In other news, we listened to Yege Koluba, President Yege Koluba, who made some claims and some allegations today. We're not going to play the clip because there's a lot of vulgarity on there. But now we're hearing ourselves, Milbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hearing ourselves the feedback.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of vulgarity in Yeke's press conference. However, he made a lot of allegations, a lot of assertions, some of which he said he would provide evidences to them, the way he's been treated. But here's my take on it, really quick before we get to the music break and share the show. And we'll be recognizing some of you. So as you write, we'll recognize you on here today. But here is one of my clear point I like to make. I've heard some seditions and some people, some Liberians that say, "Oh, the men too rude, the men are crazy, man, whatever it is." Let me say the truth. If you claim Yeke that crazy man, you'll start giving the man hard time. You're leaving alone. You cannot just passing around looking for people. You're not just passing around looking for force. You'll leave this man alone. Simple. You ain't want a man to be making noise. You ain't want a man to be using insults or whatever it is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not for insults. I will say as it is, but I'm not for insults. If somebody steals or lie, I will say you stole. If you lie, I will say you lied. Period. That's not insult. But to be giving the man hard time and creating precipitating factors for this man to react, and you'll come by and say, "Oh, the man rude, the man," then you'll start giving the man hard time. You'll start bothering this man. If you need to get a man paid, get a man paid. The man has right like every other person. You'll stop bothering this guy. Simple. You want a man making noise, stop bothering the man. Simple. Simple. You're just leaving him alone. Let him go about his business. But you creating the avenue for the man to make noise. Then you say the man making noise. What do you expect the man to do? What do you expect the man to do? We might tussle, we tussle. So you leave Yeke alone.
Even if that mean I will talk because it's my pay, it's my salary though. You can hold my pay, then you say I shouldn't talk. I will talk.
Exactly. And all of you who the job we are Gion and who your last name that job that we are. You think you gotta defend everything we are President Weah does or everything that happens, you gotta make excuses for it. You grow up, check your last name. Your last name is not Weah. You were not born to defend President Weah. So if the sooner you get that, the better it will be for you. Cut the crap out. Some of you got your fathers and your families need to protect. You don't have to be passing around.
And the frustrating thing, and the frustrating thing about STV is that people will protect, and after when they leave from power, they begin to criticize the same system that they were protecting. So it's better that you just make things right so that tomorrow, even when you leave from power, it'll be better for you, for me, and for our children.
Most definitely so. This is part of the reason somehow we don't give people who were in the past government credence. We don't listen to them. I don't listen to them. As evidence by that, I don't listen to someone that's like, to be honest, I don't listen to people who from the past government who said nothing, sat there to pay, enjoy the time, enjoy it. Like today they won't be advocate. Like nobody's stupid yet. If you know what is going to be, I want to step out, walk away, resign, walk away. Simple. But you said that you enjoy all the immunity, you enjoy everything else, but then you wake up one day and you become advocate out of a sudden because you're not there. And we should
Thank you.
And you're supposed to be someone that we should trust. Seriously, Joseph Boagate paid for 24 months or for 12 years. He never refused pay one day. He never resigned. He never complained about everything that go on. Today he won't be advocate and so listen to Joseph Boagate.
That's the point.
My friend, you wake up, man. Like I said, share the show because the show be noisy to me.
But today part of the show will be interesting.
I can already know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But let's get to the let's recognize one or two people here really quick. Evangeline Hill, welcome to the show. I haven't seen Evangeline Hill for a very long time, you know. Samantha, welcome to the show. Bernie W. Martin, welcome to the show. If you write, we'll recognize you. We don't write, we don't know that you are here. Dakina Miata, welcome to the show here today. Life for Fun, welcome to the show. Ruth, welcome to the show. Yvette Cephas, welcome to the show. So far, I'm seeing other people from other places here, but you know, if you don't write, you know, we can recognize you. Oga Tatos, we got Nigerian here. Oga hello. Yeah, Oga then showing face. You see Oga Tatas.
It's just too interesting. I'm there already. I'm there.
Oga Tatas, we do. We do.
The man want to know Liberia problem. Why Liberia problem get this off?
Yeah. Tanya, welcome to the show. Caroline, welcome to the show. You know what? We have a few publicities to do here really quick. A few announcements that were sent to us. Francis Moluba, welcome to the show. E. Moluba Colley, welcome to the show. David G. Johnson, welcome to the show. David G. Johnson said another crazy man speaking here, but
Yeah,
you're
no problem. Man, that's a good
you're
thing.
always find the crazy people. They who crazy now. You will take anything on your can. Your can your cost off for free. We say nothing, but you keep following on. So what in that? Look, anybody that I feel that you crazy, I will not follow you. I don't listen to you. I don't click on your show. I don't.
What the essence of me wasting my own time on you?
Exactly. Wasting your data. So welcome to the crazy camp. And I think
I like that.
You're the biggest crazy man of all.
Uh,
You're the biggest crazier people of all because you're following crazy people. That means you're crazier than anybody else. But let's move on to a couple of people here. Maxwell, welcome to the show. Corita, welcome to the show. Melvin, welcome to the show. Elder James, welcome to the show. Elder James, I always see you following us. Thank you always. You follow us from Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. Hartford, Connecticut. Good place to be, very quiet place. Paul Smith, my man, you ain't getting your feeling here, man. To the bagger advocate. Don't do that thing, man. They take paper to where you resign. Listen, because they resign. I don't want to talk about it.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So that bagger to pay, why not resign? And if you know it was bad, why not resign? If you know government was bad or the any government was so that bad, why not resign? You top pay, top brand envelope, to everything that we crazy, yeah. They don't bring nothing here to
No.
government.
No, they don't want us. They don't want us to talk about that, you know. Yeah, everybody want to.
Anyway, the conversation about John Weah today, but we'll make sure we put everything together because the whole John Weah comes in a package, and we'll let everyone know because nobody's too big yet. Nobody's too big. Naomi, what's up?
No,
David, what's up? Zole, what's up? Dukle, what's up? Steve H. Kroma, what's up? Man, I told you the Chine Niye. This Steve Niye, no Chine Niye.
Yeah, man, where you going with my brother Nifa?
Yeah, what a minute. They elaborating again. I got about Steve Zago. Steve Zago and Sonny, what kind of funny people there? You hear me?
Yeah, so you better change your name. Yeah.
Anyway, let's do the quick commercial real quick today. I said the show will be hot today. It will be. We got a surprise guest that will be bringing on right after the musical break. He will join us in the conversation today. As we did with Vendela on Sunday. So we got a surprise guest today that will join us just in a conversation for us to go forward. But let's make some of these announcements really, really quick. We have the ANC Global that will be having the annual convention here this week. Not this week, in October the 14th through the 16th. They have contacted us to help with the publicity. We'll be publishing it on SKTV page. We'll talk just a little bit about it. They will probably send us a guest here very soon to do the promotion. But we also have an event going on in Texas. We were contacted by one of our sisters, Caroline, and we told her that SKTV will do publicity for you. You will do a donation. We're not doing anything free because nobody's to pay yet. That in 2020 that we will do free thing. We're not doing nothing SKTV.
But I do me, I do you.
Yeah, because you know the issue here. Before we go to the musical break, you know the whole issue with it here. These people, they don't know how much they spend behind closed door for the internet service. For the stream, you pay for it. You know,
they don't.
Not only that, they come here. Soon we turn on this thing. They cost us for no reason. We sit behind this thing and we burn energy. We do research at night, whatever they want to snow. Some of them want to eating chicken. They be there sleeping and eating chicken. When I get problem, they insult us. No, it's not going to happen. So you will do your publicity here. You will make a donation. You don't make a donation. We can't talk free about your situation. You must go somewhere else. Go to other places. They will do it for free. We not get problem here. We're not doing no free publicity here. Whether you politician, whether you pastor, whether you imam, it will not be free. You will do a donation. You not do donation. We're not talking about your issue. Go somewhere else. We're not worried about you. We're not go begging you. So the Liberian Nurses Association, in DFW. I think the Dallas Fort Worth area, which is Texas. They're having a fundraiser, a fundraising dinner and appreciation on the team, reducing maternity mortality. That is in Labro Bene we're talking about. That is in Labro Bene we're talking about, yo. Why our papa they were collecting salary
25,000.
They don't resign or collecting branches. Talking about yo, Nancy they got to put something together with the country again.
You see that?
But let's make the announcement really quick. The address is peace. So it'll be on the 30th, which is this Friday on the 30th of September. It starts at 7 p.m. now Liberia time, American people time. Please go there and show support. Me, I told them I will not be there. I don't lie, Benny. I will not be there. So they're having the event. Please show up and show support. They have a guest speaker there. The good thing about the food will be there. Music will be there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you want to make any donation, they have the Cash App and Zelle number here. The Zelle number is 972-890-6684. 972-890-6684. Send an email or you can Zelle them or Cash App them, be part of the contribution, and we will make sure we get your donation. On the 30th, we'll try to replay this announcement as we go on. But let's get to the musical break really quick and we'll get straight into the conversation. Our guests will join us, Sekou will join us. But like I said, my man, today, before we get into the show, let me play gospel music for you. Because
thank you.
Gospel music is not easy. We'll get to it really quick. We own no copyright to this song.
Over Satan power, reside in Kunima. I'm an overcomer. Yes, we're in Kunima. Over Satan power, reside in Kunima. See, I'm an overcomer. I say yes, we're in Kuni.
Yes, we're in Kuni. Over Satan power, desire in Kuni. I'm an overcomer.
I say yes, we're in Kuni.
Yes, we're in Kuni. Over Satan power, desire in Kuni. I'm an overcomer.
Abadina, woman to Hosanna.
Hosanna.
I'm for Hinarbo.
Hosanna.
Jesus Nurbano.
Hosanna.
I'm for Hinarbo.
Hosanna.
Woman to Hosanna.
Hosanna.
Jesus Nurbano.
Hosanna.
I mean, I won't born say.
Hosanna.
Jesus Nurbano.
Hosanna.
Who is this King of glory? He's the Lord strong and mighty. Yes, we're in Kunimo. See, I'm an overcomer. Listen, no weapon fashioned against me shall prosper. For the greater one lives in me, yes, it does. Yes, yes, we're in Kunimo. See, I'm an overcomer. I say, yes, we're in Kuni.
Yes, we're in Kuni.
am for Hinarbo. Jesus Nurbano. I am for Hinarbo. Woman to Hosanna. I'm making out one bottle say. Jesus Nurbano. I am for Hinarbo. Kojo, come on. I am for Hinarbo. Hey, Jesus Nurbano. Woman to Hosanna. Hey, I am for Hinarbo. Handkerchief. Woman to Hosanna. I am for Hinarbo. Jesus Nurbano. I am for Hinarbo.
Biggie, yeah. We are making it easier.
In fact, we got to
Man,
dance.
you know you got to kind of move that in the back there, my man. You are dancing. Oh.
Yes, I will dance and rock. You know, when it comes to that kind of songs, you know, for me, I dance. Because you know why, Steve? The way you dance, sometimes the way we dance the water songs, you know, out there, and when it comes to the gospel songs, you know, then we just sit back like, if I would not know, no. For me, I dance when it comes to that, I dance really, yeah.
My man, you got me confused. I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were there. I didn't know. I didn't know you could dance for Jesus like that. Oh.
Look
Wow.
at
You got
I
moved, my
can,
man.
I can even dance more than that. But
Wow.
anyway, that's good. Yeah, so we got to go on, Steve.
Me say we hit a time now. Why we playing to hit a time, but we're not announcing it right now. When
Yes.
for security reasons, why we playing to hit a time right now? That means
Even when you're not.
we see the scene move. Then I just saw in the back there.
Exactly. If you even see more than that, don't worry. Even whether you announce or not, you'll be highly protected. Don't worry. Remember that we don't own the city. Forget that thing. Nobody can threaten us. Nobody, let me tell you, let me tell messages we can see every after the show. Sometimes people be, no, we don't move by all these things because you feel that you know myself, I know the city, I know the street. So we don't care. Yeah,
But
that's the thing.
you know how to dance with my torso with torso.
Mama can dance. So don't forget I can dance. In fact, we'll go
The
to
kind of
town.
dancing move that you're carrying to the wedding.
No, let me tell you about a wedding story. Maybe we're yeah. I just until the people say, Mama, well, they're waiting for you. I said, no. I said, why you not dancing? In fact, you like in fact you are a groom. I said, no, I'm not a groom, but the thing about it is that the Bible said when someone is celebrating, celebrate with them. And, you know, so for me, I just get that kind of thinking
Yeah,
that
because I got a picture here of you dancing. You know that
yes.
security on security now. Somebody
But
said,
me,
let me expose you for who get the topic. I got a picture here of you dancing. Somebody said it to me. But then while you were dancing, there's something I know that thought she wanted to go, but the way she was looking at you, I said, but wait a minute, my boy in trouble to now.
you know, I'll not even focus on them because you know what happened at the reception hall, you know, they comedian there, they are musician, they so men there. So and I'm in no trouble, so I was just by myself dancing,
My
doing my
man
thing.
at the reception hall, I'm talking about in the reception hall, I took a picture too, bro.
But no, they're not telling me, telling me different. Forget that thing. Remember, forget that thing.
Well,
Yeah.
we discuss that other one, the picture I got of you.
Yes.
The moves I saw you making, I'm looking at the picture right now, and I'm looking at the girl that looking at you.
Yeah. I said, no, they're looking.
They guess you were no, you are not looking. To your credit, you were not looking.
Yes.
To your credit, you were not looking. But I said the girl was just the French people can say voix. The girl was just voicing you, my man.
I said my brother from the church house all the way to the reception hall. They just looking. I said, boy, y'all keep looking because for me, I'm here to have a celebrate. Yeah, so that's it, man. Actually,
situation you can't handle because we're on radio, so we're not calling in.
And I can't think now. You already do the thing. That's all I want.
No,
But
I took it back.
Yeah, but it's that the problem.
I take it back, brother.
Okay.
I take it back. I beg you, I take it back. Forgive me.
Okay, no problem.
Let's get to the issues as to why President George Weah. Uh, Many people think about President George Weah. Uh, Somebody wants space here, but we need that one. Let's get to the issue of this question, Melbourne. But just before
Yes.
we get to that question, I want to address something really quick. Somebody's asking how you can get in contact with us. Mr. Eastman, please feel free to contact me or Seku or Telvi, and we'll definitely get you through the process to do your advertisement here on here. Most definitely, we're open to it. But please feel free to contact me or so forth.
And when you are ready in Liberia, then it's very easy. Maybe I'm ready to choose FM.
Exactly. So then you can contact you FM in Liberia for them to do it if you want to do it through Liberia, and we'll get going from there. They guy passing around with Vote and Jeremiah Wapo, my man.
What kind of
Let Jeremiah Wapo. Anyway, let be know.
yeah, man, the sense of not finish. You never know which district, I don't know district or that. You never know what it may be. I mean, the sense of thing to that, not you, but I know where that one, they're not talking by itself another time. But a lot of them, they don't even know that one district, they stay hanging.
They vote, man, and they get. I never see any group of people that get drafted. Jeremiah Wapo, that's part of the chief security detail to Joseph Boaka. Hey, you talking about vote? Lead that thing. Let's get to the conversation here. Lead that thing. Lead that thing. Everywhere you see Joseph Boaka, you see Jeremiah Wapo. So anyway, that job we have been discussing here today.
Yeah, man, lead that people.
What do you think, though? What do you think? You being on the ground, and let's hear your perspective before we can dive.
Yes, so based on the topic on today, what do you think, in fact, President Weah deserve another 6 years? Or that's a topic on discussion, or if yes, why, and if no, why? So, yes, the voters, for me, I will not say maybe because, our people, like for example, they during the voting day, everybody have the right who to vote for and who not to vote for. But for me, with the kind of thing that is happening here in Liberia, Steve, on a very serious note, I don't know which type of politicians are going to rescue Liberia. For me, like I can tell you that for free. And I'm yet to see that kind of politician, that really going to rescue. Because yes, and right now we are suffering right now from rest, problem, and so on, right? Nearly almost said President said it. Since 2005, after the war, because since 2005 up to now, we've gone almost 17 years. The first government 12 years, and they were almost 5 years. So we're going probably about 17 years. If all those government officials from 2005 up to now, if they were making farms here and there, maybe paying more attention to development, but now we're going far. So for me, on a very serious note, Steve, even if you put ballot budget today, I don't even want to even vote because it'll just be like, in fact, I'm more like changing another group of people and bringing in another group of people that will still continue to be singing the same song back and forth with the same thing here and there, and nobody paying attention to the people. The people are dying. No, there are a lot of SOL call that we do on a daily basis here at this station, just for people for small sickness that are not supposed to be giving people a hard time, but because people don't have the money, because people don't have the capacity, or even to even go to the hospital, even when you go there, no medication. So for me, yes, it is the right of the people, according to the Constitution, the power inherent in the people to choose whosoever they want. So for me, yes, let them go ahead, 2023, whosoever the person they choose. That's it. But for me, Steve, I'm so disappointed. I'm very, very downhearted on a very serious note because Liberia, for me, as a journalist and citizen for this country, I can tell you for free that even if you change the other group of people, you bring in another new group of people, my brother, we're still going to be singing the same song that we're singing here today. So for me, that's my own view on the entire thing.
That is your own view, So that means you're not looking forward to any voting or so forth. That's basically what you are saying.
Yes, because for what I'm seeing right now, even though guys, back then when some of us would not even into mainstream journalism or maybe this, on a vessel in 2005, they have they 1 million men march and so on. Some of us, in fact, were very flock. Some of us, our parents used to beat on us because of the same people that are in power today. I bet that a lot of things are small that we even went through. But today, what are we getting? Nothing. Some of us, we work from capital bypass, district number 8, but then it was district number 2. Later on, it changed to district number 8, where Honorable Akaros Moses Gray is today. He knows me well. We walk 2005, we walk from capital bypass to that SKD, we come back 2011, the same thing when I of shooting or that rioting November 7, all the things happened up to 2017, my brother. So it was quite frustrating that you will see all your energy, all the things that you fought for to see Liberia getting better. Liberia not getting better for me, or maybe no, but Liberia should be better for everyone. Liberia should be better for everybody, for our children that will come on tomorrow. But Liberia, we're not getting better, only for a few group of people. In a country where you see that there are no good roads, you see people buying 150,000 cars, people buying 200,000 cars, someone wonders, so what's really happening to us as a people? So, like, in fact, we're not going nowhere. Everybody just getting there to enjoy themselves, enjoy their life, be the life of their family, take that maybe their wife and their children from here, sending Dubai, sending any part of the world, enjoy life, and come back. Vote for me, and bring maybe a few bags of rice, maybe just cajole the mind of the people. So for some of us that know better, I think it will be hard now because nobody can easily tell me what to do and what not to do.
Well, thank you, Mabel. For me, I don't have any personal issues with President George Weah. Neither do I have personal issues with the CDC because at the end of the day, this is all politics. But in politics, the facts must be said. We cannot afford to rely on propaganda or lies. The facts must be said. And I want to start off my position today that President George Weah should not, never, ever should have been elected in the first place. Thought more about giving me another term. And there are several reasons. And I want to start out with the most recent noise that is in the country. There are several reasons that I want to lay out. I'll speak about the rights issue. I will tie this rights issue to both the opposition and President George Weah, but especially President George Weah, because it's under his regime that we have the rights issue going on. There's been consistency of the rights crisis. That shows lack of leadership. It shows irresponsibility. It shows ineptitude and incompetence in President George Weah and his administration. Everything I've said here, I've not used any insulting word. These are English words. In simple English, what it mean? President George Weah not able the job. He not know the job. That's what it mean. He ain't able the job and he know the job. He know the job. He not able the job. I've always said it. When it comes to social issues, when it comes to chilling, going low for woman, getting high, bring the president, no problem. I will support him to be maybe the chairman for that group. But when it comes to serious matters, serious national issues, we need to stop joking around. Because the lives of people depend on the decisions that the leader will make. President George Weah is not a leader. Being popular does not equate to leadership. Liberian people, let's get it clear. Having new recognition does not mean that you're forced to be a leader. We need to get this concept clear. President George Weah has failed the Liberian people. He has failed the country people. He has failed the poor people. He has failed the uneducated and the educated people. He has made all of us as Liberians shame. From the time President George Weah took over, it's been from one noise to another. Just one noise, and noise that they can easily cut down. But they are always cut into some kind of mess. So again, if it comes to chilling business and other things, I can vote for President George Weah to be the chairman or to be in charge of that department because that's the thing he used to, I think he likes. He likes good time, he likes chilling, I want no problem with it. Me, I can support him. I can even help recruit. But when it comes to seriousness, you stop. You let get serious, my people. Let all get serious. President George Weah is not serious about being president. President George Weah is not ready to be president. President George Weah is not a presidential material. You gotta stop joking around. You like President George Weah, that's fine. Maybe in your head, he supported the refugee in Ghana and you made up that story. That's fine. You can keep on living up with that lies. But to bring President George Weah and want to make him president, it has brought a total disgrace and disrepute to our country. It has. I don't care who says what. The facts are here and we're lying the facts. But here's my disappointment, because in as much that we talk about George Weah, we got to balance this thing. Here's my disappointment. My disappointment, especially in the most recent issue with this rice issue. Let me tell you something, that politics you're doing. For those of you in the opposition who want to make it look like there's some kind of religion, this is not religion, the politics you're in. In politics, you must be strategic, you must seize the moment, and you must be timely. You can't afford to allow all these different lapses. The government has made so much mistake that the opposition should hold them accountable. I would suggest to the opposition it's time that you graduate from the press release and press conferences. You get into serious move. You get into serious holding this government feet to account. Because these guys are relaxed and they're joking. They pay a few people here and there to talk nonsense all day with confidence, to lie 24/7. And these guys they don't care. As long as they're getting paid, they don't care. They don't care about the people who are suffering. They come and lie all of the time. They lie all of the time. And this is dangerous. They push lies. So let's start with the rice crisis that's going on. Let's start with that rice crisis. First of all, this is not new to some of us. Some people were born in the rice crisis. Some people, before they were born, they lived to see the rice crisis. Some people die into the same rice crisis. One of the most recent one that was recorded was April 14, 1979. The famous one, the rice riot. President William Tolbert felt he could increase, according to history, he could increase the price of rice on the market. And it created a serious problem. But back then, we did not have internet, we did not have anything. There were men in the opposition who stood up to him and said, no, this is not going to happen. It created a serious riot. The generation back then, maybe in that time they were more fearless than us. Some of us who are waiting for heroes and heroines to come before we can take steps or before we can do. The best we can do is to inform you and educate you like we are doing. That is the best we can do for you. These things should motivate you to stand up. The U.S. ambassador says the same thing we're saying, directly or indirectly. Other people around the world says, what you want for us to do? What you want for us to do? The Liberian people need to wake up and rise up to this occasion. President George Weah is messing the country up. The CDC is screwing the country up, and they're taking it for a joke. President George Weah comes and says something here, lies to the people, lies to the world on our behalf. And you got all his little surrogates them passing around trying to interpret what he said. When we heard what he said. What he said is simple. You can play it anywhere. Plain. It was simple and plain. The president lied. Simple. And yet people trying to want to intellectualize it, want to use English and synonyms, comparison, and they want to listen. We run a country. We're not running on synonym and comparison. The person who spoke the English don't even know that thing you are talking about. So we don't know all that synonym, comparison, they want. That he know all that one. So we have spoke to us plain and simple. That Monrovia looks like Miami. Simple. What in that one we got to need interpreter for? What in that one we got to need? People that have claimed they know English and they taught history. And yeah, Carol, we're talking about he taught history. Who they taught history to? Because we've seen the product and he taught history to around here. So let's get serious with this issue. This is a serious issue. President George Weah and CDC are taking it for a joke. They're taking the Liberian people for a joke. They are taking the Liberian people for a joke. President George Weah should be nowhere. No disrespect. You should be nowhere. Even your Liberian people talking about presidency with him. Nowhere. It shows that we are not even serious as a nation. The way President George Weah screwed us over, if we really get to understand it, do you know how long it will take for us to recuperate as a nation? The way these guys are screwing us over? You really understand what's going on? I'm talking about that y'all and y'all get a mention, y'all get a botchen, and the opposition, y'all just hate the ball. I'm like, this is not a hate speech. But have you sat and thought about the way these guys are screwing this country over? Have you guys thought about it? You have no clue. You have no clue. Because you don't even see the amount of debt that we have to pay, the next generation have to pay. You don't even see it. And we have nothing to show off for that debt. For all the debts we are getting, we have nothing to show for. Apart from these guys buying big mansions, living luxuriously, lavishing, enjoying themselves, and doing what they want to do. That's it. That is it. The men that came to power on a crooked level, on a con level, on hard muff, and that's exactly how they are running the country. And I see people even talking about President Weah gets second term, and there is no opposition, and there is no opposition, there is no opposition. Okay. Okay, then let's do comparative analysis here so that we can get some of these things clear out, so that we can understand exactly what's going on. Most recently with the rights issue. I told you about 1979, April 14. The difference here is the opposition back then, they stood up. They stood up to talk about. They did. First of all, we have a nation that about Akara's going in studio and talk nonsense like I taught literature, I'm a student of literature. That's why they can come in studio and talk that kind of nonsense. Because the people that you talk about, you talk literature. My old man can understand. When you tell my old man right now, you tell my old man right now that Monrovia look like Miami. I need to tell my old man, say you are speaking superlatively, or you are speaking of comparative, or you are doing. Me, I need to sit and have this conversation. The man who's manner, does he understand the beauty thing that you're talking? But your duty is to pass around and lie to the people because that's all you've been doing. Your lie. Sometimes your lies even catch up with y'all. We told y'all said the government was corrupt. Y'all said a lie. Okay. They sanctioned 3 officials of the government. 3 senior officials. Read to the president, though, Nathaniel Magil. You think this is mutually exclusive? You think President Weah don't know that Nathaniel Magil was doing what he was doing? And I let her Serena Seaforth spotted. In as much that I think Serena Seaforth is a crook, and he's a liar as well. But I like how he put it. Musa Dean knows exactly what was going on. If you really look at it for true. Because Musa Dean signed all the deals. Yes, according to our law, Musa Dean is one of the people or one of the persons that must have their signatures on these deals before they can be legal and legitimate. So Serena Seaforth had a point. If you really want to look at it for true, Serena Seaforth had a point. So in essence, what Serena Seaforth was telling us, if you're accusing me or you're saying I did wrong or I didn't want, did I wrong, okay, I agree. But how y'all leaving my boss who signs off on all of these things? Why are you leaving out though? Why? Why are you leaving Musa Dean? And the next person this goes back to, it comes to Samuel Twe. Because the Minister of Finance also is one of the people that must sign off on things in the country. So this is how it works. So if they're accusing other people of passing bribe and doing deals or whatever it is, these 2 guys cannot be out of the picture. That means these 2 guys are included, whether you like it or not, because they sign off on the deal. But we're waiting for the list part 2, so we're not worried about the other men.
I know.
We're not worried about that. Let's get to the rights issue, because these are some of the reasons President Weah should not. Nobody should even be talking. Look, in any serious-minded country, they will not even be talking about President Weah being president. The first thing they'll be doing is they'll be rallying up for President Weah to leave. That's what they'll be doing. Because this is a complete joke. This is a complete joke. It's a disgrace to us as a nation. If not one of the odious African countries in the world. And you got people passing it right in the 21st century. I want the president supposed to be going to. All the other people that we give birth to around us. The president that are going talking something there. Serious thing there. Malawi just got awarded. I'm saying Malawi. I'm saying they gave them money that they got to pay back. They gave them grant. 350 million grant. That means that free money they gave it to them. They don't have to pay back. because they're serious-minded, the king to make serious case. You got joker there going over there talking points of foolishness that they don't know. When people want talking, then you'll say, oh, you don't respect. What about respect in there? When people dying talking about respect, which one is important? Which one is important? Taking care of the country to ensure that people's lives are secure. You're talking about respect? What kind of respect? So the respect should be at the detriment of the country? Go check the record. Other people were joking, they finished doing their jolly, they finished passing it right here in lot to those people that they trucked and they brought. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? Those guys, some of those guys left behind. The president and other people they left behind had to do some serious negotiation, seek help, and so forth. Why when the president did? When it met with a few seditions, they made a bunch of noise, celebrated themselves, and they passed around shamelessly.
And someone will say, but why you guys in protest on that side?
That's a very good question. I will address that question. I will address that question about the protest on this side. Let me address it before we go to the news bulletin here really quick. But I think I will continue with the conversation for you to get to the news bulletin, then you can join us after, because we want to ensure that we lay the premise here before when we get back there, at least we can give people a chance to call in enough time. But one of the reasons that the opposition did not protest on this side, you know our people, they only know you when they need you.
And so you guys had a very, very good record on that side, though.
They only know you when they need you. One of the people that would kill herself to organize protests here in America is Yasendi. This woman, because she decided to support Alexander Cummings, most of the females, most of the women, the men that they support, the people that they support, have declared that they will support other people. They don't have problem with them. But because she decided to support Alexander Cummings, they have problem with her. They take the eye off the ball and they start undermining her, disrespecting her, sending other men to come and disrespect that woman. So the woman said that and said, okay, then you all go do your protest. The hero then that depending on whatever it is, that they see hero then collecting money from the government and doing other things, and they're in serious cahoot with the government. So now nobody to charge to organize protests. This is why the protests are organized. These are facts.
We'll come back. We really want to know the names, or maybe some of the names of some of the heroes like talking about, because I like that. Because actually, the news come up, or that in fact there are no protests in the U.S. Or in fact, President Weah was the only president that there were no protests when he arrived at the U.S. But apart from that, there were so many protests with other presidents.
How could protests have been organized? How could protests have been organized? The people then who really put the Yasendi will spend her money, and not because I know her, but these are facts, their own records. She has been in front or part of most of the protests. All of the guys who even organize the protest, guess what? Most of the people who support the Costa and the other people there, guess what they did? They undermine these people, disrespect them. Disrespect these people. But they know Costa will not go protest against the government. They know that.
All right, so we got to go for the news.
So the people who are doing what is right, when they choose to support Assad, they get problem with them. But the people who they support, when they support Assad, then they support those people. What sense does that make?
All right, so Steve, we are leaving you. Yeah, so we are leaving you. Yeah, so you can continue later. At 7:15, we'll join you back on the show. Thank you so much. So, yes, okay. So for we have to.
So the news bulletin will be back right after we're here. But this is why there was no protest on their side. This is why there was no protest. Other people would choose to say they support the person. They don't have a problem with them. When Yasendi says she supports Cummings, they got a problem with her. They say she shouldn't be in politics, she should be advocate. Oh, but the people that are supporting their advocate and they call themselves advocates though. What kind of hypocrisy is this? When we talk it, then you say this, we say that. When we say the truth, you say we support Cummings. We say that when you say we support the other group of people. But you undermine your own interests. You undermine yourself. This woman was, whether you like Yasendi or not, she has made huge sacrifices in the diaspora. Huge. But some of you come use the time to insult this woman for no reason. Some of you didn't even get a problem with her. You don't know her from nowhere. But because she call out your hero or she call out your people, then you get there, you take it personal. You insult this woman. Then who's supposed to go stay in protest for you? Then you had a simple complaint that there was no protest, there was no protest. You don't want change. You don't want it you. You don't like good people. You want to support your own criminal them to come there. At all. Because if they really want to change for you, the opposition could unite. The opposition can unite. But you don't want the facts. You don't want to choose because the people you support, whoever they support, knowing that they're only supporting them so that they can kind of do worse than what George Weah is doing. That's the problem. This is the only problem in the opposition. All of you that support Joseph Yuma Boaka, you're not supporting Joseph Yuma Boaka because you know Joseph Yuma Boaka will do the job. Because your second tell us that Joseph Yuma Boaka is old, you all know that he's old, he will not do the job, but yeah, just put a paper there, and maybe after 3 years. For what? Why should we do that? Why? It's like you have the ability to move from Monrovia. You have the ability to move from Monrovia to go to Kakata. And you can take a straight road with a new car. Then you get one old car. But you say, you know what, let's just take the old car because, let's just take the old car. That old car we used to ride. That's it. Just the mindset. That is just the mindset. So they must make Joseph Yuma Boaka president. It must be. Even I heard another older man writing, even if he on a dying bed, we still make him president. An older man writing that, and you're supposed to tell me that older man got wisdom. I said, "Oh, believe he got wisdom because you old." Okay. We stupid. Some of our people stupid. We can't in the country with those student loan, so we can be stupid like the other people that do the same stupid thing. Then later on, will come back and can be old too and be making the same foolish statement as old. I know somebody old, they can do the job. I know somebody not capable of doing the job. They come in die. I'm gonna tell you, I put in there. Unless I'm a witchcraft or something is wrong with me, that's the only way I would do it. Those two things, one of it, I either be a witchcraft or something is wrong with me inherently. That's the only way I would do that. I can't make that kind of decision because when you're making decisions, you don't make it for yourself. You make decisions in the interest of the people for the future and the next generation. That's how people remember people. You think Martin Luther King was standing up because he wanted his family to benefit or to inherit something? You really think that's the reason? No, not the reason. Martin Luther King was doing it for you and I today, for the next generation. That's what he was doing it. So when you come around with all these different things, as we are laying the basis that the other person might be, that's why there was no protest. There was no counter-protest. That is just the reason. We don't respect people when they're with us. We don't respect people when they're standing up or talking the truth. We don't. We don't. We respect the people who disrespect us, who lie to us, and who play us. That's it. Mr. Youngton, welcome to the show.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to join from my laptop, man.
Yeah, but you can go back and join back.
Huh?
There's the possibility you can go off and come back on your laptop.
Okay. All
right. Thank you. So yes, Larry May will be our guest today to join us into this conversation. So yes, as I was laying the premise here, because I'll wait for us to get on the radio so that we can lay the premise about this rice issue. We can lay the premise about the rice issue and why President George Weah should never, ever, nobody should even think about George Weah being president. If you were serious, you love Liberia. If you care about Liberia, you care about the future, President, don't even, when you're dreaming in your sleep, you hear President George Weah, even not accepting you to run, you'll wake up from sleep because you're having a bad dream. You will. Again, from all indication, President George Weah have proven some of us right. This is not about you love the president. No. It's not about love. If you love President George Weah, when you think you're really in love with him or whatever it is, then you can go and act like we are. And maybe you can be a second wife, or if you're a man and you want to be with him on another level, that one of your business. We don't care about it. But we'll put our country first. We're not here for that foolishness. We need to get serious. This is not time for all the joke. Other people are moving their head. And we're taking jokers, play balls on serious guys, people that don't mean well, that don't even know what they're doing. Every day they on try and error method. Every day. Every day. They on try and error method. The only thing they know how to do that criminality. That's it. That's it. When you say they say, oh, you disrespect the president, they want by your business. Anybody want to say I disrespect the president, go say it at your business. I'm saying President Weah does not know the job. President Weah is on serious. He doesn't want to know the job. He thinks this is a fame thing or this is a popularity thing where someone got to be clapping for people. That's what he thinks in his head. That's why he sees the presidency as a means to be popular and so forth. And so we need to get serious. We need to get serious. We do need to get serious. If we want this country to move forward, then we need to get serious-minded people in there that will represent us representatively, that you can go to bed and sleep. You don't have to be worried to get a prayer team to send in advance to pray so the president can make mistake in his speech. What kind of mediocrity is that in the 21st century? What kind of nonsense we find ourselves in? This is nonsensical. To have a president that the whole country got to be worrying, be fasting and praying for him to not make a mistake? Are you serious? In the 21st century? Everybody got to be on the edge. Oh God, the president shouldn't make a mistake. Oh God, the man shouldn't make a shame. And you really think this is how we move forward? You really think so? This is troubling, my people. When we say you think we hate President George Weah, you think we hate the CDC, but in all actuality, you guys are the problem for the country, because you are not men and women enough to tell this president that he should carry his playboy and play games somewhere else. That we need serious-minded people to do serious things, so that we can catch up with other nations. But yeah, you're passing around making noise. Even when he does wrong, you bring yourselves together to justify his wrongs. This is problematic. Welcome to the show, Mr. Nyanton. How are you?
Thank you. Steve. I'm okay. I'm doing well.
My man, I think that your second time on the show, yeah.
Yeah, the first time I was on the cloud and leader of the tag team. But today, at least, I'm here in my own capacity. So,
yeah, so that means anything you say that will responsible on JMD 30, man.
in my own name, yeah.
Welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, so the conversation here on a discussion, Siku will be joining us and the guys from the radio right after the news bulletin. They will join us as well. What is your take, my man? I was laying the basis here for why President George Weah we shouldn't even fathom that thought. We shouldn't even think about it if we're serious-minded. We should not even be talking that kind of talk. Look, it's a kind of talk that the American people can say, it should be table talk. We should talk it like in hearing. To even think about it. So what do you say? What is your position? Where do you stand?
So, it's difficult to have the conversation, right? A lot of times I get personally hurt, especially as it relates to seeing where the country, given where we are to Liberia in 2017 to where the country has been, reduced to in the last 5 years, and people get sentimental about these conversation, whether it's the discourse around education or health or the general governance performance of Weah. I try to dissect it from three theories that I have seen about seditions, right, from 25 all the way to current. They made us to understand in 25 when Liberia was in dire need of a new national sensation, that this man somehow is neutral and that he had the country at heart, right? And the only test to that probability, the only test to that hypothesis is the current reality, right? Times have moved on. We have been given the mantle of authority, the management of the state, and this result of what we have is decimal. The second thing is that somehow is debatable that this man had 85 million, right? In spite of the fact that King's FM that operated for a very long time. was almost like a government institution. People that worked there had to, hustle for their own kind of ads to put on radio, especially for announcers. They had to do side hustle in order to feed their family because they weren't being paid for months upon months, right? But yet, there's someone who had millions, right? Someone who had millions, um, their home, the house that we had built when he was war best on 9th Street was dilapidated. If rain
But
fell, yeah.
I'm not trying to cut you, but on SKTV we like to keep the record straight because we don't want our viewers and our other people to hold us accountable. So let's keep this in context, and I think you should make that disclaimer that you brought George Weah onto us. You were one of the people, one of the young men at the time, yes, that brought this George Weah whole business to us, knowing what you know now. So let's go back to that. Let's keep that in context.
I would like to correct that, correct the information because it's very necessary to do so. Yes, I did at one point in time did support the Weah presidential bid that was in 2005 and 2011. In 2014, I did support his bid for the Senate. I did not support Weah in 2017 general presidential election. So for the record, and there are a lot of media reportage on 2017 and how I took a stand in the CDC and what eventually happened. I don't like to go into the past, but all of the conditions that created my support to Weah in 25, I would say personally is justified, right? For someone who was just 17 years of age, fresh out of high school, my understanding about the body politics of Liberia would be were limited to the textbook history. All right, it was also limited to what we have seen as the result of the reality that we face as young people at the time as a result of the 14-year civil conflict, right? So you have people like Alaji Kroma in the race for president. You have people like Ellen Johnson in the race for president. All right. Who else do you think could have been a neutral player within the context of what Liberia had gone through? So the country was in need for a national sensation. It was necessary. There were very bright Liberians who had PhDs and masters that were putting themselves out from. It was Weah who was more neutral, that had the mining in terms of the national appeal that could offset the evil, at the time. So it was necessary to have supported Weah. And besides, I'm a grassrooter. I'm from the lowest. I come from the lowest part of the economic pyramid. When when you have to contextualize. So it was the what we are embodied at the time. My story was part of that larger Liberian story.
So,
growing up.
so you're saying to us, just
I'll-
before, no, let's before we go any further because we don't want to intellectualize this conversation,
Yeah.
and this is not about you. We'll get your view, but we want
I
to make
know,
sure.
but
So you left. You're saying to us. Let's be on the record now. Let's be on the record on this one.
yeah.
You're saying to us in a nutshell that you left the CDC 2017.
Yeah, but then let's put a timeline to it, right? There was different punctuated equilibriums, right? But that put a timeline to it. So between 25,
Meditating symbol. Let's only say we're speaking English. We're not about to confuse our people. Yeah. Let's cut to the chase and get to the issue.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Between 25 and 2017, right? There were 12 years. 12 years have passed, right? So if you look at the time I left CDC, I was just a high school graduate in 2005. The way I taught in 2005 was different from the way I taught and analyzed and processed things in 2017, right? 12 years later, right? I had gone to school. I graduated from college, AMU. I've, managed to the grace of God, came to the US, graduated with my MBA, right? So the way I saw things, the direction I saw my country in which I could analyze it within a frame, right, was different from how I saw Liberia and how I could analyze it in 2005. My own disappointment is that those many years later, 12 years later, people who were at the level I was on, maybe some of them was, dropped out, some of them had just came out of high school or something, were still at that same level in 2017. You understand what I'm saying? So great many years have passed, great number of young people supporting this man. They have given their life for 12 long years to this cause. They weren't making any significant personal progress or professional progress or even academic progress in their lifetime, right? And at the end of the day, you have the same men who, this group of people, subjected themselves to 12 years of their life. Now you have the power to change and transform the lives of these people. You are feeling like that. That is a fundamental problem that I have with this administration. It's a fundamental problem that I have with Weah. And when people say Weah has the country at heart, where is the sympathy? Where is the compassion? Where's the love? Right? When that many young people supported you, gave their life, some of them threw their life in front bullets. You all know about this November, the famous November 7 incident that took place at the eve of the second round election in 2011. So it's pathetic. And no, the conversation should not be about people who supported Weah in the town because there were generalized condition, objective factors based on which they supported Weah at the time, right? The conversation should be more about how much of those people that supported Weah at the time we did in 2005, life has transformed. With the exception of few, the vast majority of seditians' life have not transformed. And when poverty struck a nation, it doesn't ask whether you're a seditious or you are a member of the Unity Party or you're a member of the ANC. It doesn't ask for your political affiliation. It doesn't ask for your tribe. And this is why we are in this process, because we love Liberia so much that we cannot allow the next 6 years look like the last 5 years.
So then what is your take now? Now that you've made a premise here,
Mhm.
now that you've told the word that everything else about your connections, your affiliation with this, why do you think President George Weah should not be reelected or should be reelected? What do you think?
Yes, Phil. Every moment in history that we have had to deliver to the Liberian people, he failed the Liberian people long before even he was elected. That moment when everybody knows sports, right? For example, is the unifying organ that brings our people together, irrespective of our tribal differences, irrespective of our political differences, right? When we had that moment in time for the first time in our lifetime, and for me, I was spending even buy my ticket to go to the World Cup that year. We have failed the Liberian people for no obvious reasons. In 2014, this man was elected. Before that, he was given peace ambassador position, right? By Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. As dubious as Madam Sirleaf, she recognized the importance of reconciliation, that a nation long ravished by 14 years of bloodshed, with 250,000 of our people lost their lives, reconciliation was at the hallmark of national development. WEA does not recognize that in today's Liberia. WEA was given peace ambassador appointment, a position he held with a budget that he spent at his will. He was not audited after he left that position. Hopefully, we can audit WEA. Even when he served as peace ambassador, we will see some of the discrepancy that we are seeing now at the national scale, at a much higher scale. He failed the Liberian people. He brought his friends. It was a reunion of athletes, of footballers that have played across the continent. You were there. You saw Samuel Eto'o and the likes of Mohamed Kalon and Didier Draba and Africa all-time best. What this guy named from JJ Okocha, right? That was not a moment for these men. That was a moment to social into Liberia, go back into our traditions, and involve our chiefs and elders onto the table of reconciliation. Too often we make that mistake. That reconciliation has to be and must be among players who are contending with each other, right? So if you're running for the president and I running for the president, we have an issue, then we should sit on the table. No, people who are affected, but the process also have to be there. And we have a nation that is heavily weighted on our traditions. We have times where in the village, chiefs, empowerment chiefs, and elders resolve conflicts. They know the mechanism. of reconciliation. Because long before the cosmetic part of our, our contemporary Western kind of leak up to Putin's, we had these chiefs resolving conflicts. Why are we not involving them in reconciliation? We have failed at that. I think my celebrator should be a paramount chief from Bond County or a clan chief from Lofa County. Set it on the table of reconciliation, discussing how we can move the issue and the discussion about people who are hurt in the various counties as a result of the civil war into action. Not somebody told what somebody don't know about Liberia and bringing peace to Liberia and reconciling the wounds of 15 years of civil conflict. That's not that was not the moment. He failed the Liberian people at that moment. In 2014, again, this man elected senator overwhelmingly against all odds, against the power who be, against the political elites that control the winds and caprices, not just that, but state assets, state budget, and state worth. We stood up and said, no, a son of the soil must be given the chance to represent Montserrat County. We had that chance again. What happened in the Senate? Nothing. So we have had history. Given we are from one level to another on the petty stock.
Well, a lot of things happened in the Senate when President Weah was there. First of all, he collected a brown envelope. Jose Yuma Bwaga was the president of the Senate at that time. It is alleged that President Weah signed the bogus dues as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happened.
Yeah, towards the end of Madam Salif, she wondered how well she was just dishing up, money, and we are the 85 million worth President Weah, who could not afford car just a few months before that campaign was using Edwin Snow car is an open secret. How can you be worth 85 million, right? And your party chairman, George Sobo, and you fell off on the basis of this same 2014 election. The CDC claimed that Solo was doing business with Rabbi Salif. And Solo came back and said, no, I was doing business on behalf of George Weah because George Weah have sent me as an intermediary, right? And on the basis of that, the CDC decided that they would expel Solo, thereby giving Natana Magay the chance to assume the chairmanship. But what happened? The weeks that followed, Solo had gone stumbling into Weah compound. Said, my own my car gave. And Solo stripped George Weah, stripped him off his car, right? Naked off his car. This is the man that had 85 million. Could not pay child support. Could not buy even a used car from Fulani's brothers, maybe, or something. Could not do anything as such. So where was this, where were it buried? Where were the assets? Where the worth were buried all these years that we could not have seen? Now you assume the responsibility of the state. Suddenly we see that you now have the money to refurbish your homes, to build new ones, to pave roads to your house, to put street lights. The optics doesn't look right. For us who are rational people, we ask, why you didn't do it 12 years when you're in opposition, when we had relative peace in the country? The presence of all male and the fact that people weren't going back to the bushes, people are now believing in the institution of governance and democracy. People are testing their ability at presidential election, at senatorial election, at representative election. Why you didn't invest in your country? Why? Why now? And most of the investment that you're doing, even after you assume the presidency, are personal investments. Not investment that helps someone from Sonny Wayne or West Point. So this man does not deserve another 6 years. In our lifetime, it would be the most heinous crime that any Liberian voting for Weah, it will be having a thought of an Adolf Hitler who thought to destroy the entire war on his own. Any Liberian thinking of voting of Weah with the mass atrocity that we've seen in peacetime Liberia under the stewardship of President George Manuel Weah. And now we'll have the time to go into the more in-depth policy issues that worry him not another 6 years in this term.
Thank you. So let's welcome Sekou to the show. Sekou, welcome to the show. What's going on? What is your take on the question?
I'm sorry. Yes, sorry. I was muted. So, yeah, thank you very much, Steve. And a big thank you to Mr. Johnson Mabon Kula and the folks in Liberia. And our friend here, Mr. Johnson, second time appearing on SKTV. I want to say welcome once again, brother.
Thank you so much, man.
You know, sometimes when I'm discussing Liberia, I take myself out of the picture for a second. Sometimes maybe my personal feelings and my admiration about somebody or my reservation about somebody may even sometimes overshadow my judgment. So I sometimes took myself out when I'm making comparative analysis about Liberia and discussing critical issues when it comes to Liberia. So the question, whether or not George Weah deserves a second term, to me, it is a yes or a no, depending who's speaking, depending who you talk to, and also depending who is listening. You know, George Weah ascendancy to the presidency of Liberia, it did not happen overnight. He went through struggles from one position to another. He wanted to be president, he couldn't get it. He decided, let me go for vice president, maybe that will help. He didn't get it. He went for Senate, he got that. He performed so dismally. But yet he was given the position. But as I speak to you right now, sometimes when you ask if this person deserves certain thing, you should also ask, does this person think he or she deserves what we are talking about here? So I think, by all accounts, in as much as George Weah is not doing much in terms of meeting up with the developmental agenda or proposal or promises to made, he may not be doing a good job on that end. But George Weah desperation, George Weah campaigning before the campaign, George Weah media outreach, George Weah investment in media, prove that yes, indeed, he wants it. He thinks he deserves it. He thinks he deserves it. Let me tell you right now, Steve, George Weah is very, very, very strategic and very smart when it comes to politics. When it comes to policy, it's nowhere. When it comes to politics, playing politics, and understanding Liberian politics, George Weah is very smart. George Weah respect and take everybody to account who supports him. People like Julie Ramo, people like Kef Hassan. That young lady, Crystal Musa. Whenever George Weah says you as his supporter or you're making a case for him, he will make attempt to reach out to you. He will make attempt to appreciate you. He will make attempt to know that yes, indeed, what they are doing is the right thing to do. Continue to do. He will encourage you. In some instances, he gave them money, whether directly or through emissary. When you think about this, even Alexander Comis, every single time Comis has appeared on this platform, we were the one that initiated his appearance. We don't reach out to come and talk. You think they really want it? You think they were desperate? No, I don't think so. Do you know how long, how many communication, how many exchanges we have had with Joe Buckeye? directly or indirectly, to come on this platform. Tradition are afraid to come on this platform because they say it's an opposition platform. You heard Akara the other day saying that if we're not the most, the biggest critics of their government, it will be one of the biggest. But yet, when CDC wants something, they will come. They can come. They know what they can call. But opposition, you're begging them to even make the case for them. Do they deserve it? I don't know. Because I think if somebody deserves something, you will see them, you will see the desperate move. And beyond that, beyond the media outreach, Steve, who destroyed the opposition? They're not the CDC. They're not the opposition. Opposition at the highest level decided to dismantle the only group that they had that could outrightly destroy CDC. But they decided to go apart because of political reason and care less about country. To be honest with you, they don't care about the country. Nobody cares about the country. The people who care about the country, they may not have the leverage, they may not have the power and the strength to get the vote. But people who we consider opposition, how many of them really care about Liberia? They wouldn't care about themselves. Trust me, if opposition believe that they care about Liberia and they deserve the leadership of the presidency, the CDC will have been in place right now as we speak. So all of those pretending to be opposition, they are not opposition. Let me tell you today. Even Henry Costa, who's saying that you want to run for Senate, he's not going to run for Senate. And even if he runs, he knows that he's not going to win. He's trying to make sure no other opposition can come and take over. He's just trying to be a spoiler, making the way for Sajusha to win. I'm telling you, these so-called opposition, they are not opposition. Majority of them, they are some good people with a good heart. But majority of the people who are sleeping with the government, trust me, they will pretend, they will argue, they will trash talk the government, but deep down, they are working with the government. And I can tell you, if it remains like this, Unity Party continue on the path they are on right now, and ANC remain slow as they are right now, Joe will win.
So, I can come in?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Sekwa, are you done?
I'm finished.
Yeah, you got 1 minute to make a point, and then I will continue what I was saying really quick.
I like how Sekou Joe drew his analogy, right? That if this doesn't happen, there's a probability that George Weah will win the election. There are many probabilities that we can throw all around the place, but there are a couple of things I just wanted to respond to. The first thing is that it's powerful when you say people who really do love Liberia have not been given the opportunity. They have not been voted in a position of national trust. I agree with you on that. And our history has shown that in many cases, Liberians do prosecute the heroes. There was no reason why we had Bacchus Matthew in the 1997 election and Taylor won overwhelmingly, knowing the history of Bacchus. There was no reason why we had the likes of Tipote in 2005 and George Weah swept the first round, landing him to a second round encounter with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We've always had this history of prosecuting the heroes. And this is where I think every Liberian must reach to a point of consciousness. Whether you're in mainstream politics or you're on the periphery as advocates or media person, we all have a responsibility to this country that we all claim that we loved. There's nothing stopping Sekou from saying, personally, I will invest in a representative, since we know that people get messed up at the presidency. But if we have a branch of government that creates the true check and balance as enshrined within our constitution, that ensure that people who are sent to the national legislature are of the class and quality that represent the mass acquiescence of our people. The president doesn't get his way. But what we have at the moment is an imperial presidency. The president gets away just about any way, anyhow, including the use of cash violence or sometimes intimidation. You use the finance minister to withhold people's salary for months. When a lawmaker is against you and you withhold his salary for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, how do you expect his office to run? And how do you expect him to be very effective? So these are kind of political witch hunt strategy that we have seen that has been orchestrated by the presidency. So every Liberian has to be involved at that level. It's a point that I really agree with you on. On the opposition front, I don't know, I can take 30 more seconds.
Yes, please go for it.
On the opposition front, it's important that we draw the conversation into context, right? The opposition CPP at the time, given the intent of the political leaders, was in a bid to respond to the cries of the Liberian people. The Liberian people have been saying opposition don't work together. The most recent scenario we had was with the counter declaration. 1 minute, guys. The counter declaration, right? So you had the Labour Party, you had the ANC, you had even the CDC now that's in power. You had the All Liberian Party, you had all these guys then they went to Ganta, right? The Prince Johnson Party, I think MRU or something, and they signed the declaration. What happened? Few parties believed that they should have the ticket from the very get-go. And when they realized that the conversation was not going that way, they pulled out of the process. So it is about self-interest first in every shape, form, and manner. So when the opposition CPP decided that we'll come together, I think it was judging of history. Now, the most recent was the counter declaration, but there are other form of collaboration that took place many, many years before that render footer on the basis of who has ticket. It was just wise to me that that aspect of the conversation was suspended, believing and hoping that everyone was in the room for the same reason. That is the betterment of Liberia. Everyone not in the room based to put some yeast on the ego or to amplify their ambition. But I think it was also one of the fundamental mistakes that led to the demise of the CPP. So we have to go to the root of that. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there were general consensus among the people, right? That this government failed within the first 6 months upon landing. So there's no need to even talk about a Weah second term. When you went Grand Gila, you went Nima, you went Magibi, everybody was talking one-term president. And to reinforce that, Donald Trump here lost the election as narcissistic as Donald Trump, right? So that amplified everything. But on the home front, CPP were winning by elections, right? Massively. So it became a discussion. Remember I talked about ego when they first started in the room, right? So people now started to amplify the ego. It became a discussion, established and notified that anyone who has the CPP ticket automatically wins Weah in the ensuing election flat off one round. There was no debate about it.
Well, let me hold you first before you make this conversation seem as though we were just restricted to a discussion.
Yeah, go
There's
ahead.
a process for the CPP to elect a stand-up bearer. We want to keep it in that confines because it was not just mutually exclusive to just people saying I'm talking. So let's stick on that process.
I think
We can go into the process, right?
let you conclude.
Yeah.
Let you conclude, then they can take it from there. But I think it's at the point of conclusion now.
Yeah. So the people themselves were resolved. They demonstrated that level of resolution in their votes all across Liberia in 2020 in the midterm election. The fault is with we, the politician, and I must be on record to say this. The Liberian people have shown that the entire what they have the last 5 years was not enough. Where do we pick up the pieces? It's a conversation that still needs to happen. Where do we move from here? It is true that if we cannot find genuine reconciliation within the context of what happened with the CPP, none of us who are front runners, and I speak in this way in the context of who I support and who all the other people might support, right? It's clear that if there are three top candidates in 2023, or there's a four top candidates, right? You got Weah, you got Boaga, you got Cummins, you got Conglo, right? But we'll take Conglo out of the conversation because he was not part of the CPP arrangement, right? So whatever we do, if we cannot reconcile or start a conversation around healing and mending the fence, the divide, we are not capable of leading a nation that is deeply engulfed with acrimonies and pain and anger for people who are alive today in today's Liberia, saying that a relative was killed by Prince Johnson, and he today has the power to determine who becomes the next president in Liberia for many successive years. For people who saw LPC killing, committing massacre in the county I'm from, in Sino County, seeing a man like George Bole sitting and making laws on our behalf. That is the everyday reality Liberians have to face when they wake up in the morning. And we have politicians who ignore those realities and amplify their ambition, and we cannot resolve what is happening or what has happened to give it a safe landing before going into the first round of election. We are not even fit and qualified to reconcile a whole country. And that goes to Boaga, that goes to Cummins, that goes to every political leader who is vying for the presidency of Liberia. It starts from the little platform that we have to the highest platform that will be given. And that's what I wanted to say.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
No, Mr. Kana, go ahead. I'll be the last to speak on this issue. Go ahead.
Okay. I like this brother. He's very smart. And he tread, on a very fine line. The conversation here is very clear. The CPP establishment was based on the foundation of opening a level playing field wherein everybody will have the opportunity to run for position, whether it's presidency or vice presidency. But at the same time, some came in that arrangement with a premeditated approach, with a pre-mindset, with a predetermined position, which was very disingenuous to the process, which was unfair to the Liberian people, which was deceitful to the Liberian people. If you have a pre-mindset, you do not open yourself to competition, because competition could go either way. For example, like the current CPP arrangement, because the people in the CPP, they have a motive that only Cummins they believe to be the presidential candidate. Whoever will join the CPP, the current CPP arrangement, you are joining it with a clear understanding as to the fact that the presidency is a no-go zone for anybody. If you're joining the CPP, maybe there might be other position, vice presidency, maybe ministerial position after election or director position and other positions. but at least with clear understanding. But Joseph Boakai and Unity Party people, this is no prejudice against Boakai or anything. They were not straight, they were not fair to the Liberian people. But the fact that they're coming in there, that only the reason why CPP fell apart because of coming say I can be vice president. Boakai people say, okay, if we go into contest with this guy, he might spend money, he might spend some, cash violence to get people on his side. He might end up being the standard bearer. That's the only reason why they pull apart. And not only that, you did not only just pull away, but also supported Ure to work with the government to further destroy the CPP. For anybody to even make the argument to me that you want this Jowea government to move out of power and supporting the same people that destroy. You are in bed with Costa, you are in bed with Bernard Ure. They have openly fought to destroy the opposition unity. Then you just Boakai in bed with Ure and Costa, taking advice from Costa. Then you say you have Liberia in your heart. That's
no only for Weah. We got Liberia in our heart.
But okay, but you say be Liberia, think Liberia, whatever you say. But you cannot say one thing and do the other thing, my brother. The thing here is pretty simple. It's deeply and highly political, and I understand it. Let me tell you something. I don't like to talk about other networks, but there are networks that are created, funded, and managed by George Weah simply because he want his message to be disseminated every day. He wanted to use it to destroy opposition on a daily basis. There are radio stations. There are other talk shows that are built purposely for George Weah. So, in short, many Liberian politicians are very, very disingenuous and deceitful. How can you say you want George Weah to go, but at the same time you're fighting to destroy the opposition? How can that work? How would that work? And knowing the fact that when you say collaboration, coalition, whatever form of unity, without clear understanding as to how you're going to go about it, coming in with different mindset, you betray the people. We know there was a document, a working document. Whether there were some legal challenges in that document, that is another topic. But there was a document that everybody mutually agreed upon and signed it. Why is it that that document was not followed? That's the question nobody supporting Joseph Boakai or Joseph Boakai himself or Bernard Ure can come and say and answer that question. Why is it that the processes, the guidelines that were in that document was not followed to the end? And see who will say they don't agree with that. But you decide to pull out of the process because you felt that it's not going to go your way. And then you still want people to believe you that you love Liberia when you own it in it for yourself. I think it's been very deceitful. And see, let me tell you something. I'm going to say this today.
So,
hold on 1 second. Hold on. Narman, please.
Let me tell you today. Bernard Ure, Henry Costa, they are working with the Liberian government. And they will do everything and anything for Joe Weah to be re-elected. And I can see it. They successfully destroyed the CPP. The second version of CPP, I'm not sure how aggressive they are because they seem very slow and cold to me. I'm not saying they're moving needle because talking is nothing. Action is what matters. And I can tell you, I'm going to repeat this. If everything remains like this, that means we are second term is clear. That means Costa and Bernard Ure are very successful in their mission to make sure we get her second term, his second term.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. Well, I think I think I like the angle both of you took. You know, one of the reasons me and most of the people that who in Liberia who want political positions, who think they want favor from other people, don't agree. And sometimes, oh, you're too emotional. Oh, you're rude. Oh, you like this. It's because I'm not going to sit here and intellectualize certain things. I don't do that. I'm not that kind of guy. You'll never get that from me. When you wrong, I say you're wrong. You're right, I say you're right. When you can steal, I can say your teeth. I'm not here to go in cycles. It is not a secret. It is open. And I don't know how desperate Alexander Cummings is, as they've claimed, for him to want to go back to what I'm hearing Mr. Yonton saying, that they can I know a merger, or they can come back together, or they can work together, whatever it is. There is no working together. There shouldn't be even that conversation. There shouldn't even be that conversation. Because the only shameless people will want to sit in the same confines and have this conversation. Most of you knew that Joe Weah was not capable for the job. You supported him because of your own interest. You knew it. It's not a hidden secret. You knew Joe Weah was not qualified for the job. You're based on his popularity to give him this position. Now we find ourselves in this mess, in this quagmire. You're doing the same thing with Joseph Yuma Boakai. You know Joseph Yuma Boakai is now able to handle this job with age, his health, and everything else. You know the old man is tired. You're pushing the same agenda. That's why I don't listen to some of you. I'm not saying you specifically. It's not restricted to you. That's why I don't listen to some people. I don't. I will never listen to them because all they are about is about them. You're silent here. Some of you were silent. You, Larry May, you were silent. You said nothing when the whole opposition knows what's going on. You said nothing. None of you are on the record to have men up and tell Costa to shut up and stop this nonsense that he's doing. You wanted unity? That now you know unity good? That now you know you won't work together? So all these little games that you're deciding to play, all these little games that you're trying to play, it's not going to work.
Okay. So let me come here.
So hold on 1 second. When you guys spoke, I listened very quietly.
Yeah. I thought you were finished. Finish.
And I'm going to land on this. Let me say this. The level of dishonesty in the young people, some of you, is troubling. This is why we are where we are today with Joe Weah. The level of dishonesty with some of you young people. You guys are the problem, not necessarily George Weah. You guys are the problem. I'm saying it again, not necessarily George Weah. You got the problem. I see young people in CDC doing the same thing. They try to defend everything Joe Weah said, whether it's wrong or right. What will it do for you if you sit there and say, I support President Joe Weah, but President Joe Weah, you are wrong. President Joe Weah, you lie. President Joe Weah, don't say it that way. Don't say it that way. Or I support you. What will it do to you? It will change your name. What will it do to you if you tell this Joseph Yuma Boakai, you tell Yue, you tell Senator Yomi Kanga Lawrence, you tell Costa, and the rest of you that supported the CPP, that told Joseph Yuma Boakai to leave the CPP unceremoniously. I'm not talking about Benin and Yue. What will it do for you? But you don't want to come out to the truth. What you want us to do, they might kick it on the raw, and you're kind of opposition, you're in unity, and let the opposition go defeat Joe Weah. You're lie. Because I play all with Chakla, our friendship and our relationships. Because we expose all of you. You guys are the problems, and I don't fool around with that. I'm not here for that your funny thing because I don't need anything for anybody. You guys are the problem. You guys continue to be the problem for the Liberian people, and some of you should never be elected to anything in that country. Never, ever. You should come to power. Because if you can do what you did to the Liberian people, thwart the people's efforts, throw it down the drain, and you want to come back shamelessly and say, yeah, and they can work together, and there can be a working relationship. There can be no working relationship. You go your way. You do what you got to do. The people who support the other people, let them support them. at the end of the day, when you're meeting second round, nobody should say, oh, why coming and support you? Why coming and support you? And you're told Joseph Human Power and passing around, talking from rehab, passing around, Gale vent the place, talking about he star witness. You know what you are doing? Do you know what you did when you did that? And you want to lecture people today.
Let me say a couple of things.
They're all talking and they might be united. They might come together. We say anything about Cummins. That today they didn't say anything about Cummins. When you're passing around making all that big mouth there, that today they didn't say anything about Cummins. That today, but you want Joe Weah to move. Your only concern is for Joe Weah to move because maybe Joe Weah not fall in line with what you wanted. Maybe you didn't fall in line with that plan. So you're first today, Joe Weah must move. Joe Weah must go. Joe Weah must do the one. Joe Weah will go, but we're not replacing Joe Weah with you. It's not going to happen.
Okay,
Well,
so you don't.
Joe Weah will go. Me, I'm not even sure about that yet.
Joe Weah will go.
Yeah, you see, so at least we
what about, listen,
we are
what
two on the
about
platform that want Weah to go.
Joe Weah will go.
No, me, I don't think so.
Joe Weah going over is imminent. We're not discussing that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We're not discussing it.
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Yes.
Joe Weah will
Yes.
go.
So let me.
We gotta go now from right here in Liberia. We gotta go because of the time coming up at 8 o'clock is the news. Yeah. So Steve and others.
Very quickly, right?
Hmm.
Very quickly. Number one, I see that the conversation shifted from whether we should be re-elected or the possibility of that. It's okay because I see a lot of sentiments expressed, right? I share in the sentiments. We all want a better country, regardless of where you are, regardless of the perspective from where you see things, right? We all want a better country. It's not the best vessel to lead Liberia in a fundamentally new direction. We maintain that. The second thing is that people can throw blame here and there based on their own interaction, understanding of the crisis that took place in the CPP. But if you want to know who destroyed the CPP, it was not Costa, it was not Uri. It was Musa Bedete and the same ruling establishment that sent him.
That's not
All
true.
right. So it's very.
That's not true.
I didn't. You made accusation. I didn't say that was
No.
not true.
What happened? We saw what happened. Musa Bedete played no part in CPP.
We all saw what happened.
Okay, what did Musa Benede do?
It was Musa
The
Bedete. And
the destruction of CPP, it was done by Joseph Boakai, Costa, and Bernard Uri.
how
And it was
Joseph
done under. It was done
How
under
did Joseph
Bernard
Boakai
Uri.
play
Normally,
a role
Kanga Lawrence.
in destroying the CPP? How does Joseph Boakai play a role in destroying the CPP? How?
She also accused Cummins.
Okay.
So we gotta go. We want to say thanks. Yeah. So So Sekou and others still want to. The Liberian people.
My brother, thank you very much. In Liberia, Truth FM. We'll see you on Saturday. We really appreciate
But before you leave, Sekou, you're not really doing well to the people today. The people never been part of the show today. What happened?
Yeah.
No time given to the people.
You know what? It's still fun. I was not here. I came late.
Yeah. Anyway, that's okay. Because there are a lot of text messages keep coming back. Yeah, back to back. But anyway, thanks so much for the show on today, and we'll be together again on Saturday by the grace of God.
Thank you. All right. Yes. So I know Lara Man accused Musa Belede. I understand what he's trying to do. It's totally clear, but like we can say in Labrador, nobody's stupid here. We saw exactly what happened. This is a CDC and Joseph Human Poagat. This is a Joseph Human Poagat.
I'm not asking.
I'll bring the man back on, but let me make this statement clear. There's a Joseph Human Poagat talking point. I'm not a supporter of hold on. I'm not a supporter of Musa Belede, but we have to be clear on the record. What did Musa Belede do to break the CPP? We want you to tell the Liberian people because you're not about to throw words here.
No.
Okay. Steve, I think he's going to come because before you come in, you asked me,
yes,
what did Joseph Boakai do to destroy the CPP?
Mm-hmm. And the same for Costa and all the other people you accuse.
Thank you. I like you. First of all, the CPP establishment everything went smooth, everything was going good. When they had the 2020 by-election, there was no problem. Reason why Joseph Nima should be responsible and should take responsibility of destroying CPP. There are three reasons. First, it was under his watch the CPP was destroyed. And he pulled out of the CPP with no genuine reason. As a leader, leading the institution, and the institution was destroyed under his watch, then definitely, I think Lofa just joined. Lofa, welcome.
Thank you.
So that's the first thing. If you are a leader, you make sure you manage, you control the institution you are leading. Anything that will come and dismantle that institution, you are responsible to make sure that will not happen. That's the first thing. Joseph Nyimaka did not show leadership. Under his watch, CPP were destroyed. Secondly, Costard was the able lieutenant of Joseph Nyimaka, who went on the rampage insulting and disrespecting one of the political leader of the CPP. Never a single day that Boakai condemned or asked Costa to stop doing what he was doing. And Costa will speak as if he's speaking for Joseph Nyima Boakai, and Joseph Nyima Boakai never came out in any single day or any of his entourages to come and say, you know what, whatever Costa is saying, that's not who we are. He enabled Costa. He allowed him to do whatever he wants to do. As a matter of fact, at the time when Costa was unleashing insult and disrespect on commies, Joseph Nyima Boakai at the same time went and gang Costa. Whether or not it was simultaneous, whether or not it was meant to reward him for disrespecting or for destroying, for attempting to destroy commies, Joseph Nyima Boakai did that. So in short, if you are a leader and your organization go into destruction and you said nothing, you did nothing to fix it, you did nothing to bring it together, then you want to point finger at somebody who was not a political leader in the opposition, in the CPP arrangement. And beyond that, the whole issue of document fingering, the case that was thrown out the window by the government eventually, where that case started. Dr. Boakai aided and abetted and was part of that process. As a matter of fact, he was being carried around by now sanctioned Solicitor General. He was in Subordinate Chief's car over the place. That he's a state witness. He brought him to court. So, listen, and Costa came out to tell the world that we are working with the Liberian government to prosecute Alexander Cummings, knowing the fact that it was a fiasco, knowing the fact that it was a made-up story, knowing the fact that the story had no bearing, nothing whatsoever. And eventually, they did not only leave the CPP, but try to bring the CPP down to the mud. So yes, indeed, Benina Ure, Henry Costa, led by Joseph Nyima Boakai, they destroyed the CPP. And thanks to Cummings and Musa ability for at least holding on to the CPP, now we can still call something CPP. So you can go ahead and to say Lofa just came, maybe when you finish them, we can give Lofa the chance to say something.
Well, Lofa, what's up, my brother?
Hey, Yata, I'm doing, man. How are you?
Good. Yeah. So
let's Siko, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, my brother.
Siko, first of all, I look forward to a time, a day, that the road There's an intersectionality of the role you play as a media practitioner and also an advocate, right? And I look forward to a time to see more and more the amplification of that role and ethics. Um, whether you're wearing the other cap or the other one, show some level of um, impartial understanding to the discourse. And why do I say that? Because you you are in Arizona, right? Many thousand miles away from where the heat of the activity took place. With our reliance on social media and different Facebook posting and media reporting, and maybe the few connection that you might have on either of the side, will inform your understanding about the issues, right? There were many deeper issues within the CPP than even the ones that came out to the surface, right? There were many deeper conversation, deeper level of conversations held than the ones that came out to the public. No one in the right mind, no political leader in the right mind, will want to see a dissolution of a forceful movement back by the overwhelming majority of the Liberian people, evident by the results from the 2020 meeting election, dissolve in such anarchy. No serious patriotic political leader, not Joseph Yomambwaka, not Yomi Kanga Lawrence, not Benedict Yuri. Now, when you say
We
that
got
we
3 minutes. We got 3 minutes together here. Maybe we can have this conversation another time. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to
Yeah,
conclusion.
yeah, I'll just wrap up so look like I come in. When you say we should take Musa ability out of the metrics, we shouldn't have it included in the conversation at all.
I didn't
But
say that.
no, you said Musa ability was not.
I say it was not the one who was destroyed.
Yeah, but why am I blaming Musa ability when he was not a political leader, right? That's what he said. And I agree with you. We should not blame Musa. He was not political leader, but Costa also was not a political leader. Yeah, Costa was not a political leader. He doesn't represent the views of Joseph Yomambwaka. Joseph
He directly involved.
Musa Bede is directly involved with a lot of people in Liberia, so we should point fingers. He directly involved with George Weah.
For you even to put Musa,
You know, no, but the point here is that I'm only using a lot, right? So let's get to the bottom of it without name calling, because Costa has nothing to do with the dissolution of the CPP. Like every other person in the CPP, whether they were from the ANC or they were from the ALP or from the Liberty Party or the UP, play a role, some shape, form, and manner, personal role in the process during the conflict. So was the position taken by Henry Costa. So that in itself is clear. But my point is that no conscious leader will want to do that. The CPP had three things within the framework, three levels to which processes through which we must pass to elect our standard bearer. The first was on a basis of consensus, believing that the original intent for which the process was started was the intent that was based on the mass acquiescence and appeal of the Liberian people. So given that, everybody will reassess their role into given the 2017 election. Everybody will reassess their role, what the performance level or what the numbers are. How can we lower our ambition, right? If that happens, a mature political conversation will emerge. And political leaders will talk among and say, like, I'm not running, like, UA is not running for the presidency. So in that room, you're like, I ain't got any intent to run for the presidency. So whoever want to run.
Like I said, I think we can continue this conversation another day. I want
that's one attempt to that's one attempt to dive deep into that. But other ways, in fact, look at reconciliation. So that
I really let me say this.
Election.
Lamont, I was listening. I've been following the conversation from the very start of it, and I listening to Lamont, and he's trying to make the case here, but I'm just a little concerned because it appears to be a whole lot blurred than you can ever imagine. Um, as a what member, which political party are you a member of, Lamont?
I'm a member of the ALP.
The ALP?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's your political party, right?
Yeah, I'm a member of the All Liberian Party.
Okay, that is the political party that Ure is the political leader of, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Now, who actually initiated the complaint about some sort of fingering in document or concern about parts of the document being messed with? Who started that?
So you want to ask all the question because the
No,
question
I just want clarity. Then I will get into. I just want some clarity
no,
on
but
here. So, who actually initiated the entire
Yuri,
legal process?
Yuri had gone to court on the
Okay,
basis
so Ure initiated the legal process with
it
the
justified
understanding.
it
Okay, with the
justified legal process.
Lamont, hold on one second. Let me just
Mhm.
for the sake of clarity for the
Mhm.
audience and yourself, Ure initiated the legal aspect of this whole thing. He actually went to court. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. In the process, okay, there was a lengthy wait from Liberians from all walks of life. Did you at any point in time believe then that something mischievous happened to the document? Did you believe at any point that actually someone may have in court fingered the document at any point in time? Did you believe it?
I do believe that there was document swap. I
You
do
believe
believe
that there was
that
document swapped?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, good. As of current, all right, do you still believe that there was document swap? At the time, you believed it. Do you still currently believe it?
The case is inconclusive. The state dropped the case without prejudice. What that means that the state, headed by the executive, right, can
Uh-huh.
decide tomorrow to reopen the case. And the
Okay.
action of the court was clearly political.
Okay. So
So,
for a
so
young man
Lofa, just before
who
you ask
is
the
the
next question,
potential,
Lofa, Becky, just before you ask the next question, let me make this thing clear.
yeah.
Based on the court's readings and what the courts produce, the case can never be reopened.
Without
So
prejudice?
yes,
Without prejudice?
the case cannot be reopened. Go read it back. Go read the
Without
court.
prejudice.
Go read the
Let-
court's ruling. There is
The
no way.
court ruling is cleared. The case was dropped without
Okay. So
prejudice.
I want
It's
Steve,
clear. Yeah.
I want Lofa to conclude because we got to go. We're already over 2 hours. And we said 2 hours. We promised.
so Lamar, here's what I'm trying to get at, right? And you said documents were swapped, right? That was your exact words you used, right? Documents were swapped, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as a potential future leader, a young man who's asking for Liberians to trust you with decision making, because at the higher level, you represent other Liberians and you have to make conscious decisions in critical times in the interest of the masses. Did you at any point in time thought to do due diligence, sit, review the document, and go in consultation with your political leader and advise against what was happening? Or did you at any point in time make any public statement, either in agreement with his position or a disagreement with his position? The reason I'm asking it because I read several posts from you. And in those posts, I know exactly what was stated. So just make clarity. Did you at any point in time make any kind of public statement in support of the position your political leader was taking or against it? Did you at any point in time make any public statement?
So many discussions were here. I was not in Liberia.
I'm sorry?
Many discussions were
Okay.
here, right? I was not in Liberia.
Okay.
We've had discussion with
Okay.
the party, right, on the position taken
Okay.
as to the decision that won the blessing of the National Executive Committee
So
of the ALP.
like every other politician, you all will follow
No.
based on the party lines, whether it is in the interest of the masses or not. You just
No,
literally just concord to any
no,
decision that is making from the top, even if
no,
it benefits the
no,
masses. Because you clearly
no,
said
no,
Liberians are
no,
yearning for
no,
unity, and
no,
today you're asking Liberians to unite members of the CPP
no.
who
So you
decided
have to,
to
you have to,
walk
you ask a
away, go their
specific
separate
question.
ways. You're asking them to come back and unite.
No, you're
But
asking us.
regardless of what you knew then, that the people needed that unity, you still chose to go against the will of the people. And today you
What
have
is the
realized
will
your
of the
mistake.
people, Lofa?
Guys, I
What is
just
the
want to
will?
say thanks for the conversation. I just
Lofa,
wanted to
what
make
is the
sure I
will of
get
the
these
people?
things.
Oh man, how is the
So
look
look,
at man?
I need Lofa to answer what is the will of the people. This CPP, this CPP document saga, right? It's not one started by anyone other than the ability and the person ability decided within the CPP that he will push. Again, I
How?
said already that there are many sideline conversations, right? There are many political conspiracy
No,
around
no,
this whole thing.
how did the
Truth of the matter
document
is that
start with Mutability? Can you explain that? How Mutability
Benedict,
started that?
Benedict gets to the Liberty Party and desire in a private meeting that Cummins is the choice for the CPP. The Liberty Party has been nothing but independent at the time, leading up to the point that Benedict gets to the Liberty Party as chairman. We have to be very clear about this. Now, Benedict decides that he will get into whatever covert meeting, discussion, agreement with the ANC, which, on the other hand, is not a bad thing, right? The All Liberian Party has been very clear from the get go. We support Joseph Human Boaga, right? It was clear. It's not a bad thing for the Liberty Party to decide that it will support the ANC leading up, warming up to a major CPP party Senate convention. That would have made the level playing field very, very, the playing field level, right? But to move in the direction, in a sinister direction of swapping, or as it is politically popularly said, fingering document, is against all of the norms that we ascribe to as people of the CPP. All of what brought us together was not for any one political institution or any one political actor to feel that they are smarter than the other. It's for us to have a level playing field where
Let me,
conversation like this. No, listen, because is you are on the other side,
Lamar,
right? To understand my
Lamar, let me
perspective
just
is a little difficult. But if you were on the side that we fall on, you will understand it clearly. So now you've been blurred by this whole narrative that one group of people, disingenuously spoiled and collapsed the CPP because they did not want change in the first place. Nobody is anti-change. Everyone wants change, but everyone also wants a merit-based system, a level playing field where everybody will have the opportunity to make their case. That was not the case. Ever since
Lamar, let me just
CPP.
say this.
Mhm.
Let me just say this, right?
Go
I
ahead.
don't think I don't think you're being fair. I don't think you're being fair to Liberian around the world. For a young man who you have the determination, and you really, if you believe within yourself, you want to represent Liberians, all of us, at the highest level or one of the highest level. I think you
Only
probably
four.
need to do a little bit of soul searching. Now, I'm not here to kind of, put you under any kind of microscope or anything of that nature. It's just my suggestion to you that in order for us to move Liberia forward, like Steve and others are saying, we have to be honest to ourselves. You are not being honest to yourself because you feel like you're a member of the current political establishment that was the mastermind behind this entire breakaway from the CPP endpoint. But you don't want to accept that because your political leader Benanayure actually initiated the entire process without any evidence. And if I were to ask you today, my brother
Lofa,
Lamar,
Lofa, you're making
go
strong
back and read
statements.
through the
You're making
document,
strong
the
statements.
original document, and this
I've read
and
all two
the
of the documents.
edited
We did not many
document.
times to
You
read it, right?
still cannot
You are
provide
making
any
minutes.
evidence
No,
of
you
any
make
editing
many
that was done to
statements.
the
You
document.
make the
So,
document
so where are
was
we headed?
submitted.
You know what? I don't want to hold. But again, I don't think you're being
No, but
fair to yourself. Not
I
are you
have
being
to,
fair to
I have
those
to.
who may at one point decide to support you. I'll
Okay,
stop here
so
for
Nova,
now
let's.
and let the other guys
Let
chime
me,
in.
One
Nova,
minute,
thank you very
Okay,
much. Let me
just
say
before you
one
close,
last
right?
comment.
Nova
Lara
made
May,
some.
hold on,
See,
guys.
see,
Hold on, guys. Hold on,
Nova
guys.
made some serious
Lara May,
points,
please
right?
hold on. Lara May,
Yeah.
please hold on. You'll get a chance to address Lofa. Before Lara May goes, before Lofa goes, I wanted to address the issue of no privileges and privileges because on SKTV, nobody comes and spews anything, especially when they're on record and you go free. That's not true. We don't do that because we do our necessary research. That's what we do. So let me read to Lara May and the rest of the people so that you can run around with Unity Party talking points and think that you will come here and fly by day or by night. That's not true. Let's read what's in the documents. It was Serena C4 who requested for the case to be filed without prejudice to the state. This case went as far, it was pushed as far as to the Supreme Court and other people, and Mr. Cummings' lawyer pushed for it to be filed with prejudice so that the case is never reopened. So we got to be clear on that. So give me a second here because I found it, but let me read this part. Let me read it quick to you, and then Sekou can make a statement, and then maybe you can address Lofa's concern to you. But Lofa phone drop. I think he's somewhere where he doesn't have good service. So the defense argued that the case was terminated voluntarily during the trial, where it produced evidence, and as such, the state has no right to retry because doing so will lead to offense of double jeopardy. Double jeopardy, as explained by the court, arises when a person is prosecuted or sentenced twice for the same crime. The court, in its ruling, agreed with the defense on the grounds that the defendant have answered all complaints and pleaded not guilty. So I hope you understand now that the case, yes, initially, that's what Serena Seaford went for, but it was dropped by the court and said, nope, it will be with privileges. So the case can never be reopened, Mr. Yonton. But let's go to Sekou and then you can address Lofa. I just want to clarify that part.
So,
you can address Lofa.
so what I want to say here, Steve, is that first of all, you know, when I listened to this brother the first time, and then listened to him today, when we started the conversation, I have a lot of admiration for his eloquence. But when he said he's a member of the ALP, was a little turn off for me. Because even in as much as he's a member of ALP, the very Unity Party that ALP is supporting, they are not even proud. When you say Benina Yure should be vice president for just a Wakai, they get agitated, they insult you, they disrespect you for associating Benina Yure with just a Wakai. So for a young, smart, intelligent young man to be proud to even sit here and say, I'm part of ALP, Benina Yure party that belongs to Costa Yure and his daughter. And you think you can make the case for Labran people? I would say good luck. People are saying we should go for another 30 minutes. I don't know.
So we
Okay,
it's good
more
that Lofa is back. It's good that
People say we should go for another 30 or 15 minutes. I don't even know how we do that.
We'll go for 15
Hey,
more minutes.
We can go for 1 hour if you want.
Lofa, your phone is okay. Yes, I think it's good now. Lofa,
Yeah, so we can go for 1 more hour.
Man, your phone just running.
But we'll go for 15 more minutes and take 5 calls. and we're good.
No, we'll go
So
for 30 more minutes or 45 minutes because Lofa just got here and me I just got here, so still ready to go. You can go. Let them man. I'm very turned off for them man. They know mayor to say he belong to the party.
so you see, I can come. I got the floor now, right? I got the floor.
No,
Yes,
no,
go ahead.
no,
yeah,
no, let me conclude.
No,
Take the floor.
let me express a sentiment.
Yeah, let me just say this. Honestly speaking, I like you. To be honest with you, for the very first day I listened to you as a young people involved in politics, but I expect you to know better. Anything, if I say about associating with people with those kind of baggage, and you know it's not even an allegation. Clearly, everybody know in Liberia, but in Nigeria is a criminal. Everybody know in Liberia, Costa is the fraudster. I'm sorry if it hurts you, but that's the fact. Even those that supporting him, they know it. They say they know it, and the only reason for associating with him because they want him. They want to use him. But they know very well he's a fraudster. They know very well he lies. They know very well he fabricates stories. And being that you're being in government, being that you're being associated with all kind of armed dealings and other criminal activities and fraudulent activities, you've been proud to say, let me tell you something. I don't know how many votes you will get. I don't know. But your winning is very, 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 very dependent on your association in Liberia. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I will have a point of departure from where you stop. Let me be very clear. I am my own man. When I espouse political positions as part of my contribution to the discourse, is based on my own analytics. Nobody spoon fuming with arguments, with perspective on prevailing national issues. When I aspire to put my hand in a race for representative in District 12, which I believe that there is no other district, no district for that matter, electoral district in Liberia that is immune from all of the national problems that we face in Liberia, from poverty to lack of sanitation to health issues are faced by basically everyone in slum communities as well as in rural communities. It's because I understand the pulse of our local communities and I understand very clearly where Liberia is, and I think where it needs to go needs an army of young intellectuals to step up. So I walk in nobody's shadows, and I thought to make that very clearly. On the political front, when I decide to join a political party, it's on two basic reasons. Number one, our election is clearly characterized by the fact that, and this is my personal assessment given elected politics in Liberia, having contested in 2017. Our election is clearly characterized with a higher level of entry barrier as compared to any other person. Now, when paired in comparison as a young man to those who have already occupied the space and have been in the corridors of power, you're infinitesimal in terms of any resource mobilization or whatsoever. Just a few days ago, you saw how the national legislature tried to opt the fees as it relates to candidate registration from 500 to 5,000 and different levels, right? It took the Senate to like, hey, you can't do that. And then only the president and the vice president, that thing was opt, right? That's how people in the corridor of power, people that controlled the winds and Capri, who are political elites, who believed protectionism to themselves on the basis of entitlement and not merit. That's how they run the day. And our politics has been involved with that for a long period of time. So when we stand up to say we want to make the difference, how dare you question our ability to do that based on association, mere association? It doesn't make sense to me. The second reason to that is the fact that, Sekou, no one in Liberia is immune. We've had 14 years civil war. And right after the civil war, what we heard the warlords saying? All the warlords. They say everybody somehow participated in the war. Because when the war was coming, when Taylor launched the revolution, by the matter of fact, I was only 3 years old. When Taylor launched the revolution, everybody was welcoming the revolution. That's how they gave way to him in Butuo, right? Citizen telling on the government, citizen creating safe havens for rebel troops to infiltrate and invade a democratically elected government. You understand it? We have to understand history, not to be judgmental of others based on a decision they make. We have to understand history, not to verify others. We live in a society that has serious national need for reconciliation. We have not resolved that problem. We haven't. So when it comes to my take on reconciliation as a national leader, if I'm elected tomorrow, I have a position. My position has been very clear on that. But as to which party prepared me for the legislature, it's infinitesimal. All political parties, you have good people running on, even infinitesimal party in 2017. Why? Because all political parties have to meet that even that requirement. You have 73 electoral seats. Political parties have to meet 57 out of the 73. That's the first requirement by NEC.
Lamar, you mind if I just make quick clarity, or I'll just ask for clarity here?
Yeah, ask for clarity.
Okay. So based on what I just heard you say, you're telling us that the decision to join the ALP was not, it was just based off of the fact that that institution would have given you a better chance of participating, contesting in elections as compared to all of the other political party that exists in Liberia today, because you were once a member of the CDC. And I think in 2017, you contested. So are you telling us that because all of those other political institutions won't have given you the opportunity, so you chose to go with the ALP? Is that what I'm hearing you say here tonight?
No, I was just on that point, but I think if I have, if I had the opportunity of learning, you would have honest.
Okay.
I was trying to
Okay. You will continue, Lamar, just a second.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm enjoying the conversation. But besides the point as to joining the party, maybe the 3 or 5 minutes you spent talking, I got lost for a minute. They fine tunes, your choice of diction, your choice of voice, and they're fine. But one of my Ghana teacher used to say, you talk very good, but the sense did not come out. Like you talk, you say you've said some things, a lot of things, but I lost. I didn't even capture anything in it to hold on to. So
Look, Sekou.
So
look, my brother did not come on here today to be chastised. Let's not do that. Let's not take away the man. Let's not do that. Let's not take away. Here's my thing though.
Here's good, right?
No, it's okay.
That's the reason why.
Here's my thing though.
Why I'm here on this platform.
Exactly. So
number one.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first reason is that, and Moses and I always talk sidelines, right?
Okay.
There is this popular public sentiment about the impartiality of the show, and we want to appear to ensure that if people say Sekou and Moses or Steve, they are honor clothes or honor cover ANC members, we want to show that they are impartial in all of the deliveries, right? So we want to make sure that our appearance help to validate this platform. All right. Not to the disadvantage of what we do or our candidacy or whatever. But I personally do not believe that this is a one-sided platform until otherwise it is shown to be, right? So I take all of the conversation in good faith. The otherwise, what I'm saying, Sekou, if you want to put your hands in a basket of small apples and pick one over the other and determine that this one is spoiled, therefore it should not be in this basket, right? Given the metaphor of Liberia being that basket, I think it is just prudent enough to throw the entire basket of spoiled apples as opposed to pick, select one over the other, right? My understanding about history and where we are has informed me that in order to move the country beyond this state of backwardness means that we have to get rid of every politician over the last 42 years of our history that have been part of this problem. And I'm driven by that political philosophy, no matter where I am. And I've said this to Yuri and many other people in the ALP. In fact, Benela Yuri supports the establishment of war and economic crimes. I'm not quite sure if other political leaders who are running for the presidency do. It does. So it's clear. This is the man like you tied to UN sanction and all that stuff, right? But he said, okay, bring the war crime. I'm willing to go and talk about this whole conspiracy, political conspiracy, and whole news around that. People say I'm associated with buying guns for Taylor. Personally, I've asked him many times, but his personal answer to me doesn't matter. The public want to know, right? So if I'm in the house today and there is a bill calling for the establishment of the war and economic crime, I will proudly sign it. Doesn't matter the party. It doesn't matter the political leader. And I'm on record for this. And Benena Yura will be very glad to appear before court as, account for his role in the Liberian civil crisis. Don't you want someone who can even prosecute their father on the basis of justice and not pardon commit? I'm on public record saying this.
So if you can learn, then we'll go to Steve to take some calls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want you to conclude.
Yeah. So the point is not about Yuri. It is not about the party. The ALP stands on a level of fundamental values and ideals, collective ideals, patriotism, discipline, hard work. We believed that those fit in our national narrative. When we move the country towards agriculture, take for example, it takes hard work to do that. It takes the current government stamping on 250 million, which is $250 million, for importation of rice annually, and still we have the problem of rice. 11 million in our budget for subsidizing of rice in the recast budget, to having a soluble and sustained program that we invest in our local farmers, to move towards a full assistance program and empower schools to resume the school feeding program in a way that we empower farmers who are going on the farms to buy local produce from them or across government schools. These are progressive ideas. It's not stuck in the past as to who had guns and who did not. A lot of what we do in our time, and this goes to Lofa and all of you guys, as young progressive, we should be thinking about ideas that move the country forward, because we're too often stuck in the past. Who fought war and who did not fight war doesn't really matter to a young person in Soniwan who has not been to school in her lifetime.
So Lamar, let me say this to you, right? Lamar, let me say this to you, right? Why it is true that you want to propel this idea of, removing previous politicians, so to say, the ideology If you are clothed with that mindset of the same corrupt group of people, it's not the physical appearance. All of that really don't matter. It don't matter if you're physically young, but you want to replace those who were there before you. Because if you all are still form part of a clique of individuals who mentally are corrupt, physically involved with the corrupt practices and part of a corrupt system, you are no different from the rest of them. So this idea, people are concerned about participants of the war. So when someone is concerned and asking you about URA participation, the likes of Henry Costa supporting URA without having to question his participation or holding him accountable for his actions, I don't think it's about you personally, but the conscious decision you make to associate with that institution. Again, people will question you about the decision that you will make upon your ascendancy to the House, because at this point, you represent the people, and the people, I mean, in its all, cannot speak for themselves, but through you. So you can't say we people are stuck back because they're holding you accountable for something your political leader may have been involved with. It is upon you and others. The fact that Benani Ure, all right, Benani Ure is one of, matter of fact, he is the core or idea behind the breakup of CPP, okay, supported by the likes of Henry Costa and some of you who refuse to stand up for what you believe in. Had you done that, Lamar, a lot of respect would have been given to you. Others may have said they disagree with your position or your decision to disagree with your political institution because you believe in party politics. But at least some of us will have given you the credit for standing up for what is right. But we saw you make comments on the social media. You stood there and you can say to us that Liberians wanted this to happen. But you, as a person who wants the vote, who wants to represent Liberians, thought it wise to support your party idea and not to stand with Liberians. But today, you want to say to us, give me your votes. What changed about this? What
What
change are you bringing when you're still
really
buying
quick,
into the primitive idea and decision or process of doing things? You're not changing anything. When we're
No,
talking about the
if you ask a
approach, I
question, you
think
can
we should
ask
be
the
a little bit
question
more
and then
innovative in the
conclusion,
process.
right?
really
All
quick,
right.
Lamar.
No,
Really
so
quick.
Lofa, I want you to get something clearly.
Lame,
Yeah.
Lame, can you use a minute to maybe answer Lofa, because this is not the interview we should have with you
No,
yet.
no. We all over the place,
No,
which is
we're gonna
welcoming, right?
we're gonna have an
We all over
interview.
the place.
We're gonna
The
have an
interview was
interview.
about Weah, but it turned to
Oh,
CPP and my decision to
Lama,
support
Lama,
the framework
Oh,
document and all that stuff.
Lama,
It's okay.
we're gonna
It
have
has
an
to be
interview.
great by our action, right? Which I
Listen,
accept. We
listen.
have to be. Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna have an interview about your platform, your
Hey,
idea,
hey.
what you get in store for the Latino people. Everything with that one is a different ball game.
Yeah, I know we are here for Weah anyway.
That one you will be on a hot seat and then we're talking. but let me say this. You said something. No, I just want to say something, Steve. Then he can go ahead. I'm not going to say anything else. You talk about people coming to this platform, people, saying, "Oh, this is the ANC, maybe Lofa, Seku, everybody support Eliana Commis or whatever ANC." Let me say this to you. I said it in my intro. Whether it's Commis, whether it's Boakai, or any other politician from the opposition, they are coming on our various platforms. They tend to benefit more than us. Every time they come on any of the platform, they get some exposure. They will gain one or two support from people. They will give one or two people who don't understand few things. They will get clear understanding. Some people will have the opportunity to talk to them for the first time, so they can clarify some of the things that they heard about them. So coming to our platforms, not only this platform, they tend to benefit more than us. But whether or not Kumis comes here, we will be here. Whether or not Baka comes here, we will be here. Whether or not Lama comes here, we'll be here and we'll discuss the issue with the Liberian people. So we are not begging anybody to come on our platform. And if you come, if you think it's good, it kind of opens the conversation, even to some area that you feel uncomfortable, it's better. So those with that mindset, we're not here to actually defend anything or defend ourselves against anybody. The day I decide to support Komis, I will come here, I will announce it just as I did for Dillon in Yombly. The day I decide to say, you know what,
You support me?
maybe all these opposition, they are a bunch of jokers, I will support Weah. I will come here and say, hey. The day I decide to say, the day I decide to say, you know what, Joseph Boaga, in as much as you owe, in as much as I believe that he's tired, and if I change my mind on him, knowing something else I don't know now, I'll make it known to the Liberian people. So people who can just judge other people and tell you, say, you know what, you're supporting that. You now, you just told you are a member of ALP. And I believe you. We can criticize, you can chastise, you can say anything about you about that, based on our opinion of the ALP and Bernard Ure, but that's your decision. Nothing going to change that, except unless when you decide to change it. So for us, we are not ANC, we are not communist supporter, we are not Liberty Party supporter, we are not supporting anybody. We speak on issue based on the facts available to us. I just want to make that clear. The day we decide to support somebody, we'll make it known to everybody.
So we got a couple of calls here. Let's get 2 callers in really quick.
Go ahead.
Larry, is that okay with you, Larry?
Go ahead with the calls, yeah.
Yes. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
This is Brazilian Monk calling from the Twin City from the Metro, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, my man, what ain't going on in the Twin City? I guess the Twin City getting cool. What's going on?
Yeah, we're getting.
My man, I'll be there this weekend.
What?
I said we are in the fall.
I'm telling you, I'll be there this weekend.
So the weather here is changing, it's getting much cooler.
They may say you'll be in the Twin City the weekend. So that means the Twin City looking like be busy.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully. But yeah, it's a point. I listen to my brother. The great American scientist Linus Pauling, he said facts are the air of science. Without them, you can never fly. Yep. The reason this brother is struggling to reestablish a premise for his own argument because it's very difficult to defend lies. At some point, after the related sign up to it, because they are very good with work, they just don't go follow logic. When simple ask him about the reason for the collapse of the CPP, he tried to induce Musa Belete name, and that's a lie. You pretend I have to say we live on another planet. The chief architect. Sometimes the reason I can't support you guys. Sometimes I both way. You guys can want to play this role. The diplomatic role. You don't want to call things for what it is.
Yeah.
The chief architect behind the collapse of the CPP is Joseph Boaga. We saw it. We have a rotational chairmanship within the CPP. It was Joseph Boaga's second step that the CPP collapsed. He was chairman before when he was originally formed. We then went to Europe and then it went to Cummins. Under Cummins' leadership within the CPP, we saw that unity, we saw that strength during the midterm election. The CPP ended up winning majority of the available seats. But what happened next? Like I said, this thing, you don't need to be a rocket scientist. It was premeditated. Somebody that thought he should have been coronated believed that he was being challenged by Cummins. That's where the thing came from with the CPP. That's it. The CPP was created with the intention that Joseph Boaga should have been our presumptive nominee. The moment of God like Cummins said, no, I'm not here to play low ball. I'm going for the top seat. That's when the problem came in. That was the disturbing the CPP. You see, with Joseph Boaga, he's a consummate politician. He uses his silence as his weapon and he uses proxy. When you look at the composition of the CPP, there are only 2 major leaders in the CPP. It's Cummins and Boaga. No one else. President Weah is a nobody. Nobody Kanga is a nobody. They are part of the CPP. But in terms of the real strength of the CPP, people only look up to Cummins and Boaga. That's it. So you cannot tell me a guy who had UN with Bible on him that could even read his own document, but some mysterious and magical means was able to discover some inconsistency or discrepancy within the CPP document. No, it was by design. The first thing they attempted doing was the idea of black vote. The black voting, like I said, It never worked. So what they came up with, let's come up with the grand scheme that somebody criminally and maliciously fingered the framework document. That's why I ain't talking about document swap. That was not the original crime. First, it was criminally and maliciously altering a document. The next thing it went to the signature page. Now you are talking about something about document swap. No, you're not dumb yet, bro. I know you carried an MBA, the average president won't carry an MBA, but your logic doesn't hold your degree. It doesn't. When you want to defend something, have facts, because you can play around facts. When you look at the CPP, every party within that CPP is fractured, with the exception of the ANC. Joseph Boaga doesn't have total control of the United Party. The only crime Musa Belede committed in Liberty Party because he decided to endorse Kwamis. Once Delon and nobody come out for Joseph Boaga, no, the Liberty Party is okay. Everything is very important, it's all sweet. If Musa Belede, who happens to be the chairman and rules the day-to-day activity of the party, if he endorses Kwamis, then somehow it's a problem. So like I said, the chief architect, whether you want to say it or not, based on what we have seen, based on the record, based on the court filings, the chief architect for the destruction of the CPP is Joseph Neiman Boaga. Because we all know Bernard Yuri and Costa works for him. Whether you accept it or not, Costa was a Peter Sparkman from Liberia even to America. So he figured out, like, you know what, I can do this 1-2 punch. Bernard Yuri can do the discovery because I don't know when since when he had discovery, discrepancy in document, and Costa have leverage on the radio to amplify. That's what he did. You cannot tell me Bernard Yuri will walk the court. It was the same Bernard Yuri who on live camera said you cannot trust the justice system in Liberia because it's corrupt. But that's why the first man to run to the courts. Brother, we're not stupid here, man. When you come here, you come with facts, come with logic, and then people listen. You are a young man, you got a promising future, you went to school, you live in an industrialized society, think they want and behave they want. Thank you guys, I'm out.
Thank you. What, the last caller.
I got some calls here.
Yeah, we get it.
What's that caller name?
Woman. President Mo. Woman Pele about President Mo. Yeah, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Right there. We still taking some calls.
Caller? Hello? Alfonso?
Hello, Moses.
Yes, my man. Dayotana.
Yeah, Moses, thank you so much, and I'd like to say many thanks to Sekou as well. You know, you guys, when it comes to tolerance, you guys are actually greater in that era, and that's the reason why I always relate to you. And I've seen it, even though we do not agree politically, but I do agree with some of you. For the CPP, for the CPP, I don't want to speak on the CPP because they say when monkey die, that monkey kill it. So that one, like monkey story, let the monkey discuss their own story. But I will be speaking to, if anyone want to blame Musa Belede with the destruction of the CPP, that person is actually walking in error. Now you see, Steve, I saw the frustration of Sekou, and you know they have to run behind people to come on a platform. You know, Sekou is someone who I have respect for, but Sekou is sitting in a position that is not the right place. You know, that era is not actually necessary for Sekou. You and I spoke the other time, and I said to you, I said, Steve Woody, President Weah handled a party single-handedly from 2005. President Weah handled that party, the CDC, and he never ran behind any political leader. He never ran behind any political icon because he knew that those people were people that Liberian people have problem with. So he didn't run behind any of them. He struggled with his party, and today he is the president of Liberia. Now, those who say that President Weah cannot win, I want to know what they depend on, because in our Liberian parliament we call that big muff. It's just a big muff, because the idea is that you're looking at someone who exercising, who going to the gym all the time, who eating good food, and malnourished person will stand before that person and tell them that I will beat you. If the people looking at you, they see your weaknesses, they see your ills, they see your misfortune, they see your struggle, they see your confusion. You guys are not even But you see, I won't speak much because when I speak much, I'll be giving weapons to my enemy. Because for me, I'm a strong supporter and I'm a member of the Martyr Congress for Democratic Change, and by extension, the Coalition of Democratic Change. So I won't speak much in your situation.
Let our caller say that. Let me ask him.
Yeah, Alfonso. Sekou say he has a
Alfonso, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just said this is not where I belong. Can you tell me where were you willing to see me? Where
let me be frank with you, Sekou.
Any recommendation?
Yeah, I understand. I will call you, and I will say that. But let me just, for the sake of those that are following the show, let me just say this. You see, I heard most of the time, say when you say, I don't support anybody. For me, I won't believe that. I work with people. Even Jesus himself, Jesus told us that he has someone that he supports. Everyone in the world has someone that is support. Even when you go around, there is something that the idea that you believe and respect someone. So saying that you don't support anybody, for me, I don't want to agree with that. Because deep down within your heart, there is someone that you support. And you can follow that person. But you see, sometimes you can have the idea and the logic and the techniques to make things happen. But when you find yourself among a group of people, angry people, people who are struggling with power, people who are not in the interest of the people, but they're only fighting for their own self-aggrandizement. Now, Steve Bolin said something, and that's one of the reasons why I really respect Steve Bolin for. Steve Bolin said someone told him that even if Joseph Walker is on a dying bed, they will support Joseph Walker. You see, if someone would say that if someone is on their dying bed, they will. Joseph Walker is on the dying bed, they will support Joseph Walker. That tells you that the person is not even in the interest of the people, that you will bring a dead body to the presidency. So it made no sense. So for me, my kind of advice and piece of advice to you, Sekou, is that you need to come out and you need to make people to understand where you stand. But for me, if you really want me to tell you, Sekou, where you sitting is not your place.
Is it compulsory that this man can?
They will use you, and at the end of the day, they will dash you, and you'll be around where I walk.
Thank you. Thank you, Alfonso. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to come home. Okay, now I know.
The reason why we extended the man time because the man was very patient. All patient holding. So yeah, thank you.
It's okay. Let's take the other two calls and then we will have a little here and then we'll close it.
Well, you're going to take it from here now.
No, caller, what is your name?
You going?
Where you calling from? No, you're going to be here until we finish the three people.
Wait a minute.
You can't work like that. Caller, what is your name and where you calling from?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Okay, hey, Sekou. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. My name is Eastman. I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
Go ahead, Ishmael.
Okay. Now, here's my take on what happened. The mid-elections, the CPP, they saw a lot of success. And as somebody alluded to, they saw that whoever will become maybe the leader of the CPP will be very likely to win the presidency. But what happened went into gear, that now they started spreading the rumor that Alexander Cummings would have defeated Buakai in the caucus because he would have used money. But that was a rumor. And the thing is, this vehicle, this CP, was the best vehicle, not for Cummings, but for Buakai. So Buakai listened to those rumors, listened to the influence, and started withdrawing from the process. In the meantime, Costa and Ewing went under attack on Cummings. What I don't understand on Buakai's part, especially, and this is where I want to land, is what were his options? His option was to go ahead to the primary and see if he win, or go by himself. He has already seen that going by himself did not work before. So why would he the only vehicle that was supposed to ride him to power, why would he listen to the influence of others telling him the other guy's going to bribe his way? There was no validity in that. It was just fear. And instead, you allow the very vehicle that's supposed to take you to power collapse. So I think it's a judgment issue. We need to note this as a judgment failure, as far as I'm concerned, on the part of that camp. And that is why the CPP is where it is today.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you very much. So, second to the last caller. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from? 8667.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Jonathan Taya Dorake, and I'm calling from California.
Jonathan Taya Dorake, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so very kindly to Julian, Steve, and especially to Steve on this prejudice of the kids or without prejudice. Thanks for laying it out. And also thanks to Winton for his coming on the platform. But let me firstly establish that when someone says that they are not supporting a political party, does not mean that they cannot have their opinion on issues of public concern on the basis of the facts. So, for example, if the CPP has a brouhaha, and it is established on factual grounds that UN and Section 2019 that he supports President Weah was informed by his decision to take Mr. Cummings to court on an allegation that is not fact-based. Any Nigerian has a responsibility to state on the record of the fact. And if they state that record and you think that they are party member, then it is left to you. But everybody has a say. But let me go to the issue of the CPP breakdown. US supported Mr. Weah in 2019, public record.
17.
Fair, Commission Chapter 8. 2021, delegate pronounced his support for Musa for Cummings. How does that fit in with the years in between? We had three things to look at. Consensus. The parameter to measure consensus was not permanent. So it could break down easily. VPS, voter perception survey. The parameter to measure voter perception survey was not permanent. The only parameter that could measure was the turnout, which could be on the parameter of transparency. Why did the UP want a ticket out of the place? That is the fundamental question that should be answered, along with the court report that has appeared in the Magnitsky Act that Solicitor General Serino Sifor was taking false claims and persecuting political leaders for things that were unwanted without facts and evidence.
Thank you.
The core issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, and the last caller, I think this is Prince. I'm not sure. Hello?
This is Prince.
All right. Hey, Prince, how you doing, my brother?
Thank you very much, Sekou. I'm doing great. And Moses, how you doing? And my brother Larry, man, I hope you're doing fine. And I
Yes,
understand.
I'm fine. What's up?
Perspective here, it seems to be. I can see you sweating. You're in a hot seat, and this is what.
No. This is usual, you know.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not unfamiliar with this. I know that's what set this platform apart from most other. I posted something earlier, and I said that this is why he is called Mosey, because he is unafraid to confront the pharaoh of the Liberian politics, and it will not hold back to patch the Red Sea of the hypocrisy in Liberian politics. So Moses, I want to thank you again for making sure that you erect the necessary checkpoint, that Larry will not come on here and create a false narrative where this drama play in the theater of public opinion, and the facts are available and they are there. Instead of doing it for Liberia's sake, for the country's sake, and call it as it is, and hold whoever accountable. Larry want to come here and re-adjudicate this thing based on opinion, not only opinion, but I think from what I listen to, a deliberate attempt to mislead and fabricate the evidence that is available. Larry, the problem of the CPP is the direct result of your political leader, Bernard Uri. And nowadays, it's a direct result of Ben Majuri. It's also the orchestrated plan, fabricated plan of Joseph Newman Boakai, and consequently, it led to the exposure of Joseph Boakai failure as a leader. Joseph Boakai, when he talked about the CPP, he said something fundamental that I hope we remember. When they asked him about the health or the status, the current status of the CPP, Joseph Boakai said at the Liberty Party headquarters, faction, that this CPP was like a woman a pregnant woman going through childbirth. Though it is painful, by the end of the day, the child will be delivered safely, and the joy of the conception of pregnancy will be enjoyed by even the woman herself. That was what Joseph Boakai's statement was. Did he do such thing? Did he save the CPP when the CPP needed to be saved? Did he bring forth the CPP out of that child, that labor of pain and suffering, and give the CPP a successful childbirth? What did he do? He neglected the CPP. He abandoned it. He left it. And now, when I'm talking about CPP, I'm not talking about CPP as an organization. I'm talking about CPP as a hope and the aspiration of the Liberian people.
Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. So, Larry, try and I know you come across eloquently. You want to come across spectacularly in your diction, in your narrative. But let me tell you, you're not calling on SKTV. They won't allow you. This is not the other places that you can go. They will hold you accountable and they'll erect the checkpoint. And right now, I see you at the checkpoint. You're begging not to cross, and you're not crossing anyway. Thank you very much.
That's the prince. All right, folks, we got to go now. Now we got 4 minutes to go. At least we take it to at least 3 hours. 4 minutes now. We got 2 hours, 46 minutes. So, Lova.
Yeah.
What you got to say? We got to go now.
Actually, to be honest with you, I just want to encourage Lamont. The fact that you made a conscious decision to put your foot in the race. I just want you to understand that what normally a lot of us see is, and what we continue to ask for, is change in Liberia. Hopefully, we had such opportunity when the likes of Vonnie Sherman and other current corrupt politicians, as I normally refer to them, were actually put in the hands up to represent us as Liberians. But now that you can see that we have changed the trajectory of things, or gradually doing that, hopefully as we move forward, the future generation of Liberians will be given the opportunity to be served adequately. And, the stewardship of whatever we're looking for, again, leaders. And we are not just simply just looking for members of political institutions in Liberia. And I think that's where a lot of the young people tend to find themselves, either want to use this as an opportunity to just get away from the hustle in the United States, go to Liberia and be a part of the hustle because it's easy money, easy access to wealth. But we as young Liberians, we have decided that, look, we're going to have to stand up. We're going to hold ourselves accountable. And I'm not going to say anybody else, but hold ourselves accountable, because the expectation is if you can hold yourself accountable, you should not be afraid to hold anybody else accountable. But I would say to you, maintain the courage and, continue to move forward, continue to do what you do. These things are going to come up. They're going to come up. It was a conscious decision that you made, but just remember, again, it will remain with you for a long, long time to come. Depending on how you participate, you sway the conversation, you could actually get people to support you. You're a young, smart, intelligent man. But again, decisions we make in life actually tend to go with us a long way. And finally, the issue concerning Honorable Boakai. I just want to remind you about this. I hear a lot of people continue to mention Honorable Boakai. Every time I was opportune to listen to Honorable Boakai on every interview, not a day did I hear Honorable Boakai acknowledge any of his colleagues in the CPP as good leaders. Every time the question was posed to him, if you don't win, okay, would you support the next person? Honorable Boakai would deliberately say, I am the best candidate, and I'm here to lead a CPP. Every time. When Mr. Cummings was posed the same question, he would say, yes, I will. Anybody who make it to the top will get my undivided and every support that I can, whether financial or whatever. I think those are the kind of things we're looking for. And if you listen to what's his name, Tier One, he decided to do the same thing. He was interviewed on one of the local radio station, and his response was the same. He said, "Look, if anybody in the interest of Liberia to move Liberia forward, anybody other than George Weah. That does not mean that Councilor Tier 1 cannot be a good leader, but because he saw something and he wants something, the end goal here is get rid of bad leadership and bring in good leadership. So everybody had to sacrifice. I will stop here for now. Siku, Steve, thanks for the invitation. I appreciate it. I think my time in the conference in this room is over now, so I really got to run out of here. But I appreciate you guys bringing me in.
Right, thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Lofa.
All right.
So, Steve.
Yeah, Larry, you got your closing, so we can call it a
So
day.
let me say that when I see when I see government and how the governance space in Liberia is being run right by the current managers of the state, I see it just how the Constitution provides for separate branches of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, quite interestingly, only in the judiciary do we need appointment. That is quite interesting. Of the three branches of government, we need to elect the president and vice president at the level of the executive, and we need also to elect people that represent us in the first branch of government in the national legislature. The framers of our constitution, I'm not quite sure how many people have questioned that. Why don't we elect chief justice and associate justices? Why does it have to be within the purview of the president? Right? There's a reason for that. The belief that if the first branch of government is going some other way, there has to be a middle point through which check and balance is ensured, right? And it's only through the elective representatives of the people, whether at the level of the House of Representatives or the Senate. This is why my political philosophy has been very keen that unless we fix the problem in the first branch, it's more than unlikely that what we've seen over the last 5 years, over the last 17 years since the cease of gunfire, given the post-conflict dynamics that we have in terms of our rebuilding and recovery in Liberia, can be solved. And that's one of the reasons I'm running. But beyond me, let me try to respond to some of the last time I called it SK TV apologist. But let me
your closing.
I know.
You just your closing. Let go. When you come on the show and you make your case, then you can respond to people. Today,
but a couple of points. I think about four points I have. Right. The first thing is that why many young people
aspire. You cover the 4.2 minutes?
Yeah, in 2 minutes. That's fair enough.
Okay.
Lova Judah said, like, many young people aspire to running for the House in the elected party because they see Liberia as a point of hustle, right? The first thing is that there are many young people in Liberia that contested in 2017, then the number of young people that left from here to go back home to contest. It's evident, it's shown in the ANC data and all that stuff, right? So many young people from here to not leave Liberia. I know many young people, many Liberians from here that even go back home to register to vote. It's because they want to see a better country. And I'm sure Lova's years, take upon the opportunity to go back home, register to vote, and participate in the election process. Not necessarily to run, but because he wants his voice to be heard. And if participating in the election process means for you, Lofa Julius, by voting who to become the next president means that your life is not better yet, then it's a question of a personal matter. It's not a question of a national matter. The second point is that someone said that we should respect their view, right? Their view on this whole CPP saga, the view that it was Benina Ure, it was Costa, it was JMB, but they on the other end cannot respect my view that it was Musa Bedede. So when I say that Musa Bedede, oh, Musa Bedede was not the one. But you have the right to say it was Costa, it was JMB, it was Ure. But I got the right to say it was Bedede. You know what I mean? We have to balance the conversation. Like I said earlier, it's from the perspective from which you see this entire saga. Right? On one hand, there was a problem. On another hand, the problem escalated. On the third end, now that the problem has escalated, there is a CPP and there is a unity party on the other end, Joseph Boaga running. What do we do from this moment forward? And this is the fundamental question, the real fundamental question, because someone asking the fundamental question was, what happened in the course of those period, right? The fundamental question was not what did JMB do or what he failed to do. The CPP has collapsed. Anyone can assign meaning to why it collapsed. Sekou, you have a different meaning, you have a different perspective. Steve, you have a different perspective. I have a different perspective, and I'm allowed to my perspective. Doesn't make me less of an MBA. I'm allowed to my perspective. Because given my own role in the process, I saw it differently. But if Liberia is truly that apple that we seek to protect from a bite overnight, how do we move towards the direction of protecting that apple? That's the fundamental question. So all that has happened. Where do we move from here? Is there a possibility of us having conversation around just easing the tension so that in second round, there's a possibility of us having conversation? I know it's clear. Joseph Boaga doesn't have judgment. Like, most of the callers said, it was under his tenure that this happened and that happened. But will it be fair to also say that Coleman's judgment can be questioned, given all that happened? What was Coleman's role in this whole process? How did he mediate? When there were many meetings called by Joseph Walker, and Coleman was flying to America and escaping those meetings. You know what I mean? So we should not be in the position of doing claims and counterclaims. That's not why I'm here. And that's not why I'll even, elect myself to have this conversation. Something clearly happened. Something caused the escalation of what happened. Where do we move from here? It's the fundamental question. And I say to all of my ANC friends, I have a lot of friends across the ANC, just as I have a lot of friends in the Unity Party. There's ultimately going to be a second round. We are not going to win a straight jacket first round election. There's going to be a second round. Why? It depends, yes. But there is going to be, records have shown. But what if in the round that Cummins won the second round and we have all of the ANC apologies and Cummins apologies? Like, it's Costa, it's this person, this person. How do we even begin the conversation? Or JMB won the second round. How do we begin the conversation? For me, it's what I'm invested in. If we say Liberia means the most to all of us, it means our common denominator is Liberia. So where do we move from here? Having gone through the storm and the state of anarchy, now Comey has the CPP to himself. So there's not going to be a process of consensus. If there's consistent, you have to answer before you enter in our CPP. There's not going to be a process of primary of VPS. We don't have that for the CPP anymore. Comey has the CPP to himself. Joseph Boaga has what he has to himself. They both are going to run for the presidency. If we want a united CPP, we have to demonstrate it moving from this point forward, and not from the history of what happened from the CPP and what caused the collapse, because that's not going to do any good. That narrative, we play that narrative to the advantage of the CDC, the ruling establishment. Every time we ask those questions and play that narrative, Cummins did this, you did this happened. will play to the advantage of the CDC, because that's what they want. They want us to keep thinking about what caused the collapse of the CPP, almost like what caused the collapse of the, the world of Germany.
You can conclude now, please.
The last point I would like to make on this is
No,
that,
just 30 seconds.
yeah, 30 seconds.
They're 2 minutes more than 4 minutes now. So just 30 seconds, please.
Last point I would like to make is that, again, I hold personal position. I account for personal things that I have done, I have said in the lifespan of my political life. And that is clear. When it comes to issue of war crimes, or whether you tie my political leader to it, that's something my political leader is willing to answer to. So tomorrow, if Kumi is president, I welcome the idea if I'm in the house, whether I have a president that is not from a party or not. If Kumi gets to win the 2023 election and he's president, I welcome the idea of Kumi calling for the establishment of war and economic crime code. That wholeheartedly I'm going to support. It doesn't matter who's in the executive mansion. So I want my ANC friends to know that I'm very clear on this, and I'm clear based on the historicity and my own personal experience as a victim of the civil conflict. I'm clear about that.
Bro, thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Thanks guys for having me. My man, I look forward to the real show where I can talk about my district.
Yeah. That's the time you will answer real questions.
No problem. That make it happen.
Well, the first thing I want to say is thank you for, showing up today to be part of the conversation. Thanks to Lofa. Thanks to our viewers and our listeners from around the world. I want to say thank you. Larame, I want to say, as we're working on the schedule for you to appear, we'll let you know. But for this weekend, we have pending George Solo will be our guest.
Is that Saturday?
Sunday.
Okay, on Saturday, we have something on Saturday because I want to.
No,
okay.
You're supposed to do that.
Yeah, okay. ANC people, I don't know. We haven't done justice to that. I don't know whether you did it. Did you play their stuff?
No, I don't have it. I just made an announcement about it.
Okay, we have a advertisement for them. They are having a big how do you call it, convention in Maryland, and we have the flyer, we have the jingle to play. We put it in the system, but the people then who know the thing, go. They're going to be here on Saturday. They're not going to be here for a long time. They're not going to come and tell us how it's important for you to be there. When you are in a tri-state, whether you are in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, yeah, you can go. Pennsylvania, anywhere, you can go there and be a part of that program. And we will be playing. I don't know if I want to put the flyer on the SKTV platform. I don't need to tell you that it's paid for because Steve already made that clear to everybody. You want to advertise your stuff, let us know. We'll charge you and we'll do it for you. The platform is not for one person, it's for everybody. But yes, if you are around there, I think it'll be an opportunity for you to go and meet with Mr. Cummings in person, talk to him, ask your question, and be a part of the NC conference. You know, the last time we covered the Liberty Party's summit, that was great. So we can do the same thing. We'll see you, and that's it, Steve. We got to go.
Well, ANC people wants to go to that place, and other people wants to go, but we're still making our decision. Nothing's final, but we got the invitation, and we're still in conversation. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see y'all.
We'll see you.
Yeah, but we're not. But I see Roslyn Redding, ANC. That air job where we used to go.
Oh, you want to go to buy a ticket?
But I'm not buying ticket to go to ANC event. I'm not ANC member. If you want me to attend your event, then
you got to be member to go to poor event.
I'm not paying my way to go ANC business. ANC people will buy my ticket to go, then I will go there. But I'm not buying my own ticket to move to Arizona. Ticket gone up. You see ticket price? In 2 weeks.
I know on the 14, 15, 16.
Yeah,
so we're gonna post it on SKTV on SKTV page, and then the video. We'll be playing the video from the start. We'll be playing the video from the start of every show to the end of the at the end of the show from now on. So you get ready. And I'm thinking about being there. If Steve said not going, you on your own. I'm thinking about going there.
Hey, go. You leaning towards going there?
I'm thinking about meeting some of the people there, face to face.
You leaning towards going there? Go.
I leaning towards going there.
But yeah, thank you.
I think a lot of good people, just as we saw a lot of nice and good people with the Liberty Party that time went there.
Winner.
And Liberty Party people, to be honest with you, I don't know about the political power, but they are nice people.
Mr. I gotta go do something. I gotta what it called.
All right, folks. Are you there?